Hello, platform. I saw you. I'm going to do the countdown and give my guys a chance to come on in, my panel to come in. I hope everybody's out there having a great day. Hello, everybody. This is Corey Davis. Getting ready to start a show. YTC platform 246. What's up? NYTC. What's up, Corey? Today was a good day out here in Richmond, California. I'm getting ready to do the wild card picks and also let you know winners. Let me put the chat in there so I can get my panel in. Boom. Let me see. Brian Cup, how you doing? The link is in the chat now. So when they come in, we'll get started when everybody come in. Okay. The first guy that's in, all the way from New York. His team is the New York Giants. YTC.
What's up, Corey? Once
doing?
again with the intros, your intros really get me hyped, man. I gotta keep telling you that. They keep getting me hyped. Your intros, so yeah.
And all the way from San Francisco, my man, John J. Hello, John J.
What's up, people?
What's up, John?
How you doing?
Nothing much.
And coming in from Stockton, California.
Full house.
My man, he's a special team expert. His name is Brian Cup.
Hey, can everybody hear?
What's up, Brian? Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good. I'm going to come back in just a couple minutes, but I have earbuds, so I don't know if that makes a difference or not. But I have to do something really quickly, and I just wanted to shout out everybody, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes. But Corey, I'll be back just a couple minutes.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I just guys listen to an interview with Dwight Hicks. You know, I always say, you know who he is?
Dwight Hicks?
Yeah.
What he
I just got done talking with TRL. That's all.
Huh? He's our old safety. Brian Cup sent me the link to it's the East Coast Red and Gold.
Mm-hmm.
They did an interview with Dwight Hicks.
What did Dwight Hicks say?
He was talking some mess. he talked a mess about Stephen A. Smith.
Of course.
He was like, all of them. He was like, they need to get out of there because they don't never play no football. Them MFs. And you're talking about these days players and days when he played. He said, days when we play, you get your head taken off.
Mm-hmm.
He said, these players now can't hit,
They're soft.
can't
Yeah.
hit, can't hit them like that no more. Get a flag.
Mm-hmm. They're soft as marshmallows, basically. Yeah. I know what you mean.
He said marshmallows. Damn.
That they easily fold like laundry.
Yep.
Oh man.
He was talking all that. He was like, and then they try to ask him about what's
I don't blame you, but the way these roughing the passer calls and BSPI rules to these league.
And they also asked him, they had this game they play. Okay, let me play with you, John Jay. Ready? John Jay, are you there?
You there, John? Or are you talking to a brick wall?
Yes, I'm talking to a brick wall. He might lost some connection. Huh?
Either he's talking to a brick wall or he's talking to Man I Teo's girlfriend.
Well,
You know.
I don't know if you know these players. It was 49ers. I can't remember the Giants, all the Giants safeties and stuff.
Safeties.
You're right.
I remember.
You're right. He was on the red and gold. I'm watching. I'm gonna watch the whole thing later, but damn.
They asked, John was saying, they asked him this question, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't say who to cut off the team. And they said, okay, safeties.
If we mention safeties, just don't mention intro rule because Intero will get pissed.
Ronnie Lott and Jeff
Intro
Fuller,
rule.
them two together. Morton Hanks and Tim Madano. And Whitner,
Mm-hmm.
and Colson. Okay, which players would you start? Which team would you start? Which two safeties would you start?
What, in today's league?
Yeah, yeah.
From any era?
Yeah.
You know what? They're going to say Ronnie Lott. I already know.
So, John Jay, which ones you would start? Ronnie Lott, Jeff Fuller, or Martin Hanks and Tim Madano, or Robbie? I mean, not Robbie. Hitman, Whitner, or Ghost.
Dante Winner.
Let's see. So when it comes to Ronnie Lott, he played in an era, and he was allowed to hit players. So I'm gonna remove Ronnie Lott because he was in this class on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Morton Hanks, Whitner.
No, you gotta get them as a team. So, like, if you say Ronnie Lott, you say you cutting Ronnie Lott and Jeff Fuller. Okay, you gotta cut them or bench them or start them. Who's your start? Your bench? Who you cut?
All right. So Ronnie Lott is on the team.
Of course.
Morton Hanks. What were the other options? So
Cut or bench. You would bench them or you would cut them.
Okay, I would bench Morton Hanks because you need him because
He's technically off the bench.
And I would cut Dante Whitner, and the reason why I would do that is because again,
I get it. you gotta it's a team. They coming together. So Ronnie Lott, Jeff Fuller, they together. And so if you cut Ronnie Lott and Jeff Fuller, if you cut Ronnie, you cutting Jeff Fuller. And then you got bench two of them.
Yeah, you're deaf.
Either you benching Morton Hanks and Tim Madano, or you benching Golson and Whitner. Or who?
I'm gonna be completely honest, Corey.
Hmm?
I'm gonna be completely honest, Corey. That question personally doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make any sense because if you said start, bench, and cut, it makes a lot of sense. But if you gotta basically
No,
pair
you
them
got
up,
see, you got. Okay, say like me and you, we was brothers together. We was safety together, and
uh-huh.
then YTC and a man from TRL was two safeties together.
Yo, what's up?
They come
What's
as
up, Zero?
they come
So
as
You doing?
so basically, Ronnie Lott, Tim McDonald, and then Morton Hanks and Dante Whitner. Who would I start? Who would I bench? And then who would I, okay? So basically, then I would have to keep Tim McDonald and Ronnie Lott together. I would have to bench Morton Hanks and cut Dante Whitner because that's what I'm understanding. Like I said,
okay. Let me go like this. Let me show you. I will. Okay. I'll keep Ronnie Lott and Jeff Fuller. I'll bench. I'll bench Ghost and Whitner, and I will cut Morton Hanks and Tim McDonald.
All
See,
right.
they come as a team. They come as two together, like they stuck together. You cannot split them apart.
yeah,
They come together.
yeah. Again, that makes no sense at all. Because no disrespect to
This
Fuller, no disrespect to Fuller, no disrespect to McDonald, no disrespect. But again, like if you want the best two safeties out there, you got to put the best safeties out there. You just can't pair them up because they played in the same era. They played, together.
Yeah.
The question should be like, who would you have your two safeties? Who would you be the third safety, and who would you cut? So it's basically a little bit. But again, it's like,
Also, you got to account for the pass rush you would have at the time, because if you have a weak pass rush, that safety's not going to matter.
well, we're talking about safeties, so we're not talking about pass rushers. So, hey, for those
What
who
did I
asked
miss, guys?
you saw the video Brian using there. You know the game they played with the white hits, like the
Yeah.
safeties. They say you could cut, bench, or starters. Now I was trying to explain to John Jay, you only can cut like they come in the pairs. Like you say you had two.
Yeah, it's a set.
Hey, your shoes. You wouldn't have two
Yeah,
different
it's a
kinds of
set.
shoes. It's a set.
You can't mix and match. Yeah, it's A, B, or C.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about basically the safety duels at the era you have to put into
Yeah.
one. Oh, wow. You could have just said
Exactly.
that this entire time. Oh, wow. Yeah. You're good.
Well, hey,
I was confused.
no offense to Corey, because when they asked Dwight Hicks, he had a trouble explaining it too. So they had to re-ask him the question too. So
I know, I understand what Corey is saying. Basically, Ronnie Lott and then his pair, they're gonna stay together, and then bench cut all that. So I get that. So the other pairs, yeah. So I understand where he's saying what Corey's saying. I get it, but personally, again, if you were gonna put a best safety duo and you have to pick out of these 5 players, you pick the best, you bench, and then you cut one of them. That makes more sense. Again, I didn't play the game. I'm going to watch it later to understand what they're saying. But at the end of the day, I would put Morton Hanks and Ronnie Lott together. I would.
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. I mean, like, you got to pick what they said, A, B, or C. There's no mix and match. So it's like you said, it's the eras, just like YTC said, whoever they lined up. So do you want like the early guys? Do you guys want the mid guys, or do you want the late guys? And watch the show. I'll send you the link later. They're a great show. but that's you can't mix and match. You really can't because that defeats kind of like the question. The question is who would you rather have out of these three? You know, and I mean, like, imagine you can't really. It's not a fair question because they changed the rules of football.
And just like you said, Brian, like the question is a little bit redundant for those who don't know what that is. It's very redundant. It makes no sense at all. So again, I didn't play the game. I'm gonna watch it later for sure. I will watch it later. I was very busy today. A lot of stuff I got to take care of, but I will check it out.
But you know what else he said? He couldn't cut nobody. He couldn't cut. He said, they said, we'll put him on the practice squad. You can put two on the practice squad. We won't cut nobody. Put him on the practice squad. He said, well, back in my era, we didn't have no practice squad.
Now they're still going. They're still going on right now, and I had to
No,
jump
they cut
out.
off now. Well, they cut off now. Well, they might be still going, but Dwight's not there now.
Yeah, Dwight's not going. They're gonna talk a couple more minutes because they do their little show. And they're a great panel, but yeah, Dwight just took over. Like usually they'll have someone talking for like 30 minutes, and but he talked for a good hour or so. So yeah, that was a great guest.
Hmm.
I'm gonna was trying to
Oh,
watch.
hey, real quick, not trying to plug them anymore, but just to let you know, John, they had Matt Miyoko on the show a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I've been very busy, so I can't keep up with everybody. But I will watch that interview 100%. I will watch that interview.
Yeah, that was a good interview because Matt Miyoko he wrote a book about Dwight Clark, and I guess there was a guy who jumped out onto the field after the catch happened, after the game happened, and they
Mm-hmm.
cut a center of the field out in the end zone. And
Yeah.
then that family went home and put it into a freezer. So before Dwight Clark died, that family mailed it to the family, and then Dwight Clark had that in his hand, a little portion of the field, and he was cremated with that portion of the field from that catch that day.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I actually know the stories, but here's a fun fact. I think I told only one person this story. I think his name was Jerry Yang, my boy. I gotta go check because, like, he has two kids. He works, his wife works, so like he doesn't really have time to do shows all the time on my thing. But on my very first ever interview with Jerry Yang, I told him a story where back in the '80s there was police officers on the field. And for those who've ever been to Candlestick Park, you had, SFPD on the field. And I don't know when it happened, but it probably happened in the late 80s, early 90s. And John Taylor caught a touchdown from Montana, so it had to be in the 80s, probably in the late 80s. And someone got on the field, and no one said nothing. And then he gave the football to this random person, and then he ran back up to wherever, and he decided, you know what, he left the field. So I would find out many years later that the person came to my workplace. He said, and he had the pictures to show it where he was on the field. He had the ball, that was that John Taylor gave to him, and basically, it was a fun story. One of these little hidden stories that you don't get to hear. So that was the a fun story that happened. Yeah, but there are a lot of things that happen on the field that most people don't know.
Hey, John, maybe you know who did To remember when he caught the touchdown and then he pulled the Sharpie out of his sock? He signed the football and then he handed it to the audience member. Who do you know if that was his agent or who was that? Just some random fan?
See, I want to be 100%. I remember he took a Sharpie out of his shoe,
Yep.
and then he was, I think, in Seattle. Yeah, we were playing Seattle. He signed the ball. I'm not sure what he did with the ball, but I remember that.
Yeah,
But
he
I don't
signed
know.
the ball and ran to the crowd and he handed the ball to somebody. It was like super staged. And I was
Mm,
like, I wonder if that was his agent or something. I didn't know, but
I think
yeah, I remember like T.O. was the first, and then everyone after like Chad Johnson really turned those crazy celebrations, and then the league just got sick and tired of Chad Johnson doing all that dumb thing, and that's why they penalized celebration. Randy Moss, he was known for disrespectful celebrations. Oh my goodness, but he really didn't care because he had that mindset for where he was from. But yeah, like I remember, like in the mid to late 2000s, like receivers would do a lot of celebrations. They would do a lot of props, and yeah, that's probably like the most notable like touchdown catch and Deter Owens signing the football.
Yeah.
He got fined for that too.
Yeah.
And now you can't even go on the football. You go on it, you're gonna get arrested.
Yeah.
And probably be banned from the stadium.
Yeah, but yeah. Back then, there's this like these Irish dudes, from one of the neighborhoods near Daly City, near the Cow Palace, and you got all these old G's, like dudes in their 80s, and their sons were in their 50s. Like I said, back then, SF was blue collar. Now it's not anymore, but that's how the people were, and there are a lot of stories that like I don't want to reveal because I could get people in trouble. But back then, like you can go on the field. If you weren't doing nothing illegal, they would let it slide. And even retired SFPD who were there, they were like, as long as you're not running on the field and trying to hug somebody or like hurt the referees, as long as you were just like make sure you go back to your stance. If you did something, yeah, they would get you. But they would tell me a lot of stories where
and two. They don't show it on camera no more. Usually they show the person on the camera and you see them running down the field. But now they don't show it no more because they're trying to say, hey, don't give you no stardom, no trying to defeat that. But people still do it.
That's never going to happen.
People are still going to keep doing it.
I remember the Super Bowl, the Buccaneers in Kansas City, some idiot was a TikTok or whatever, and he did something for his followers. So during the game, he ran on the field, and there's a YouTube clip. You just type in Kevin Harlan from CBS, Kevin Harlan, Super Bowl streaker, and the language that he was telling the man, hey, don't do that. Don't be disrespectful. He may have said some things that some people may not like, but Kevin Harlan, was saying that this is the NFL. Like, don't do this. Don't try to get internet fame. Don't, be, idiotic because, like, a bunch of the players were like, what the heck? What is going on? Who is this dude? And this is the reason why, like, a lot of players, like when they're not in the NFL, they say, we do not like it when someone runs on the field because we do not know what their intentions, are. And during that Super Bowl, someone from the Buccaneers was saying we were on the sideline, and then we heard people screaming, and we saw this guy on the field, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, I hope he doesn't do nothing." And luckily, the security they did their job, and he's like, "I'm glad we won the Super Bowl," but like he said, I could not sleep for 2 days because like even though like nothing happened. Mentally.
Okay, I have two questions, real quick, John. I'm sorry, you are like vast knowledge and stuff, and I don't mean to cut you off, but because you got me going and stuff, I got two questions for everybody.
Okay, hold on.
First question.
Before you do this, Brian, let me let David in.
All right.
Bring him in.
No problem. No problem.
My man, from all the way from Utah, David McNiner.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, David? Okay, so I got a question for everybody, and you got pulled in right at the right time. Okay, and it's the same question, but it's just going to be a different scenario or different teams. Do you think that the Kansas City Chiefs got help against the 49ers in the Super Bowl with the refs? Were there calls that weren't made?
I don't recall any, really. I haven't looked back at that Super Bowl.
You didn't remember Bosa getting held and not getting the flag or anything?
I mean, he gets held every game, but It's hard to judge.
Okay, so right there, you just kind of admitted that he gets held every game. And then the same question, everybody can answer it at the same time.
I can answer. Yes,
Go ahead.
referees did not. They helped Kansas City out. I think they rigged it to help Kansas City out because I saw they didn't call it offside when we had the ball. It would have been it would have been 4th and 2 instead of 4th and 7.
Yeah,
It 4th and 2, but they didn't call the offside penalty. They didn't call personal foul penalties. They ain't holding on that D-back. Bosa and DeForest Buckner got held. If they didn't held DeForest Buckner, he would have sacked the quarterback. And if they had throw the flag for the holding, it would have been 10 yards back. I mean,
exactly.
it came back.
So then my next portion.
Hold up. So when it comes down to it, there was a ton of plays in the whole game. The refs could have thrown flags, right? And it seemed like the Niners were starting to pull away, and all of a sudden they started throwing flags and brought KC back into the game. Damn straight. That's what happened.
I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking too. So then my next portion of this question to everybody before we get everybody going, do you think that Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got help against Kansas City in the Super Bowl the following year against the refs?
Man, not really, because you look at the score how it was. Not to an extent, not the majority of the game, because you look at the score, the game was an entire blowout.
I think it was karma. And I think Tampa Bay got the refs on their side. And
it was a blowout because Kansas City was dealing with injuries heading into that Super Bowl at their O-line. Once their O-line started cracking, that front seven in Tampa Bay that was nasty all year long that year got to them. And that's what happened. Mahomes was completely uncomfortable.
Let me explain something right here. Because every time Kansas City try to get up, they get a touchdown. Flag, holding, or flag.
Kansas City does get a lot of calls.
They got a lot of personal fouls. I watched that game too, and I was like, man.
Wow. Kansas City in general gets a lot of calls, not just against you guys, multiple teams, including mine.
And that's what I think is really interesting because against Tampa Bay, against Tom Brady, they seem to be, the underdog. And I think, against us, they were favored. And I think the refs were playing it. But against Tom Brady, I think he got over everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question I'm going to answer with, did the referees make some bad calls? I think in the final 7 minutes of the fourth quarter, there was, I think, about 3 serious calls that they should have called. Nick Bosa being held on the 3rd and 17. When Jimmy Garoppolo got hit in the head, helmet to helmet, they didn't call that because the NFL talks about, we want safety. We want safety. And either they made a mistake or they didn't call it. And then I remember Shanahan yelling at the refs after Jimmy ran out of bounds and then he got hit late. And those were probably the most important calls that should have been called. And they weren't called. But at the end of the day, I'm a person that's like, we can blame the refs. We were angry in 2019. The game felt kind of rigged. There were reports and speculation that no disrespect to Jimmy Garoppolo, but they saw if Tom Brady and the Super Bowl poster, there were a lot of speculations. But at the end of the day, the defense crumbled. The defense crumbled in the final 7 minutes. But at the end of the day, there were 3 questionable calls that should have been called. And then the game against the Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs, just going into the game, they lost their center and one of their guards.
But everyone injured.
But at the end of the day, also, a Todd Bowles defense are always really good defense.
Yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes really looked uncomfortable without that help on the
exactly
line. But at the same time, the referees did call a lot of penalties on the Kansas City Chiefs, but at the end of the day, like to be completely honest, you still got to play the game. Like the referees, they cannot play the game for you, and the Niners, should have played better defense. And this is the reason why I criticize Robert Saleh, how conservative he is on third downs. Why I hated Robert Saleh, but what he's done with the Jets, he's really made them a really good defense.
That is true, yeah.
Trash, but at the end of the day, like that's why there are people that make these rigged videos on YouTube.
And the NFL's rigged. This is that, yeah.
So that's why the NFL looks awful, like in every playoffs. Like in 2018, they still look bad. They should have called that helmet to helmet. They didn't do it. So
it is.
Yeah,
Speaking of Robert Saleh, but not go ahead.
No, well, all I was going to say is like both of you guys are basically, all three of you, David too. You still got to go out and make the plays. You still have to play the game.
Yeah, you still got to play the game.
Injuries happen, but you still have to be like next man mentality. But I think the first game, the George Kittle call and the before halftime, the push off or the pass interference, that was a little bit tacky. Those are calls that are normally made during the season. I get it, but this is a Super Bowl, so you expect a little bit better. But then the following Super Bowl for Tampa Bay to get the penalties that they got called. And then the way it went, I'm just like, wow. So I that's why I wanted to ask everybody the question.
Mm-hmm. One thing I will say, though, the refs are not going to call a perfect game every time. The best thing you can do is just prepare your team, to put yourself in a position to win the game. Get the ball back to your offense so you can close it out at that point. So that way there's no any controversy with the calls. And put the game away in your own favor.
What I expect out of these professional NFL referees is to call the game like they see it, but evenly. Don't be like, oh, I'm looking at this offensive lineman hold this defensive end, but I'm not going to call that.
Yeah, you can't always refer to the
it's the other team. I'm throwing the flag. Like, call the game
you
evenly.
can't always refer to the rule book, yeah.
That's
just
all I'm looking for. Be consistent with your calls. If you're all over the place, then you guys are nothing but garbage. And that's how I've always looked at it. Be consistent with your calls. If you're going to call this holding, then you got to call that holding for both teams.
Yeah, you don't let the referees control the game. You got to control.
Yeah, you control it to your own feet. Yeah, try to put the game as much as you're in control as much as possible. So yeah.
Or what the league need to do, I would say, is start if you go view all the films and stuff, and you notice if you notice this happening, it need to be fixed. So sometimes I think Las Vegas got their hands in it.
Oh, I think so too for certain calls. Yeah.
And then the players, they can't come out on the media and say, yes, I was getting this, I was getting that. They'll get fined if they cool and criticize like we are doing now.
Anything that goes behind closed doors, they're not going to air out to the general public for sure. They mostly discuss that behind closed doors. I doubt they're going to say it in general air.
Yeah.
So,
but
they'll never admit to it.
That's past history. Now we're moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. So tonight I want to announce the winners of the week 1 through 18.
All right.
I haven't got Dina, so I guess I just have to leave her out of it. She haven't given me her count. I sent her a couple messages, and she got back with something, but I didn't write all that down.
Oh, she
I don't
didn't?
know what she did from 1 through 18. So I'm glad to let this go. Unless you come in here and say and give me or send me a text or something saying and whoever the winner is, I'm gonna give you my email address and you can send me your information, your address. And if you don't mind me, I want to get whoever like off the NFL shop on get the product from there. And if you don't mind me giving me your address. Um. So Saturday, we have the Chargers at Jacksonville.
I'm taking the Chargers, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Jaguars won. This game's a toss-up. I wouldn't underestimate either team going into this game. But I will take the Chargers because they're a bit more complete on offense than the Jaguars because their O-line's been struggling a bit. So I could be wrong, but yeah, I'm taking the Chargers.
Okay, Bryant.
I'm going to take the Jaguars.
Okay.
I don't blame you. It's a toss-up for either team. So yeah.
But you know, I've been taking them like almost all year. I've been like saying, man, they got like emotions, they got chemistry. They're building, and they got a good quarterback, and he's got good hair too. So I mean, like there you go.
That's funny.
Damn. But yeah, the only concerning part they have is their O-line. That's really about it. That's the only thing I have concern for them.
Okay, John Jay.
All right, so the Chargers versus the Jaguars. This is a hard game for me because one thing, like for me, like the favorite is the Jaguars. They are the favorite, so that means that the underdog are the Chargers.
Yeah, they're the home team. They're the home team. Yeah.
If you go by betting odds, you go with the underdog, and you will go with the Chargers. But this is a playoff game. And I think because home field advantage, these Jaguar fans have been waiting a long time. It's going to be probably the best game. No disrespect to the other. It's probably going to be the best game. I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars. I never take the favorites. But the Chargers, they're still injured. So I'm just going to take the Jaguars.
All right.
Okay, David.
I am 100% taking the Jaguars at home. San Diego has to travel all the way across the country, and I honestly think the Jags are a little hot coming in.
Okay. I'm taking the Jaguars too. I was going to take the Chargers, but I keep on thinking about them going away and playing in Florida. Wait a minute, is it Florida? No, it's not Florida. Where they play?
Duval Valley.
Huh?
Duval Valley.
Duval Valley.
Yeah, Duval.
Yeah. They got that home field advantage. You guys know, I mean, like, it's going to be pumping. They're going to be so excited. And then, yeah, like traveling, the Chargers, they're a good team, but they've been up and down this whole year. And for them to go all the way across country, and then, like, it's super hard just to get to Jacksonville, to get a direct flight to Jacksonville. So, yeah, good luck, Chargers.
For the first time in a very long time, that stadium's finally going to be green for a very long time in the Jaguars game.
Okay, now, our first game, really, we number one, I should have did this one first, but I was going to save them for last. But Seahawks at 49ers. YTC?
Taking the 49ers regardless, but I wouldn't be shocked if Seattle won because of that third matchup in the NFC West. But I'm still taking the Niners.
John Jay? Oh, yeah, you know.
You want me to pick?
Oh, no, I'm supposed to be Brian, huh?
All right, I'll go. So I'm going to pick the 49ers. I wouldn't be shocked. I would be devastated if Seattle, beats the Niners. The score, pulls an upset. I wouldn't be shocked. I would be devastated. But my score prediction for this game is going to be a weather game. I imagine the Niners are going to pound the ball. 29-3. The Niners are going to, totally dominate this game. If it's not that way, then I'm going to be really, really panicking. The reason I'm picking 29-3, I think they beat us really bad in Seattle one year at that score, and I just can't wait till we can repay them that. So that's what I'm going for is Niners and with a dominant win.
Okay, John Jay.
All right. So this is the playoffs now, and the Niners are playing their division rival, the Sea Chickens.
Mm-hmm.
Do not stand the Sea Chickens. Noah has been talking all that smack already. I saw him, I think yesterday or whenever TV, and he was talking smack about Corey, which is kind of messed up. So because Noah was messing with my boy Corey, I'm taking the Niners because I'm standing with my boy Corey.
Wait a minute.
Oh, there you go.
Whoa.
Damn.
I thought you were going to say, I don't pick my teams.
Because no,
he said, fuck the heart. He said, no, fuck the brain. I'm going with the heart. Screw them. He's
no was talking about, Corey Davis, you can't pay, like that Seahawks guy who paid more money. He was talking smack.
Yeah, they were all talking it up so they could get more super chats. But yeah, that was a good
stream. Moment. That's their only moment they'll have.
So anyway, I got the
John, this is the first time you chose your team.
I'm not taking the Seahawks.
No, you can't take the Seahawks.
I can't take the Seahawks.
This will be an outlier of that statistic you brought up about that third divisional matchup thing. This will be an outlier.
I'm actually getting some information. People are sending me that 67% of the time that there is a sweep, but I don't know where they're getting that stat. I'm looking at that information.
NFL all time to that 67%.
No.
But when you do your search, look up NFL all time. And that's where those numbers are coming from. I actually did some research to see myself.
I do some research on some websites that they pull up these deep.
But for the NFL all time, a team ends up playing another team 3 times. It has a 67% win percentage for the team that won the first 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then the percentage for that is all intangible to home field. So whoever has home field is like 16 to 7 or something like that.
That's true. And right now, exactly. Well, I mean, look. There comes a certain point in time where you have to show the Sea Chickens who Daddy is, and we are at that point. It is time to put the smack down. It is time to slap them around. It is time to pluck them Sea Chickens, stuff them, and cook them.
I want to see. I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think it'll ever happen. But seeing Pete Carroll swallow his gum. I don't think that's going to happen. But
that would be hilarious.
I'd like to see him retire after this season, but. With them having a good draft picks and stuff coming up, possibly, and I don't know if that's going to happen.
He'll eventually retire. He's already approaching his early 70s.
So I asked every Seahawks fan I know, Sea Chickens, my bad. Do you know what flavor of gum Pete Carroll chews? And I finally found out he chews wintergreen.
That's what I told you.
Wintergreen.
Wintergreen.
I love wintergreen. That's really good gum. Yeah, when I
wintergreen.
And I was just,
I mostly prefer polarized, but yeah,
wintergreen. I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm chewing bubble gum, so yeah.
That's
David,
funny, David.
Who you choose?
Whenever I do chew on gum, but yeah.
I'm choosing the 49ers. Yes, it is tough to beat a team 3 times. I'm kind of nervous about this game. Kind of nervous because plus the rain and.
I know. But the Niners are the most hot team. Right? You guys are on a 10-game win streak, so you guys are the hotter team right now heading into that game.
Yeah.
They barely sweat a victory versus the Rams. I think they're not the more confident team compared to the Niners who are coming in red hot. So yeah, that's just alone.
Yeah, so I'm thinking the Niners.
They had a sweat.
I'm picking the Niners.
Go
Yeah,
Niners.
I think it's gonna. It's. I said before. I think it's gonna be 24-13.
I said 2020, 27-23, yeah, over 50 in point total.
And the 49ers, we got everything. We got good defense. We got Brock Purdy now. Hope he don't act like Jimmy G in the playoffs.
Don't say that. Please don't say that. Don't
Oh,
say
man.
that. No.
Oh no!
Hey, real quick, guys.
Damn.
Before we change subjects, and I don't want it to be a super long question, but do you guys think there's been any year that Jimmy's went into the playoffs healthy?
2019.
Well, okay, so David, he tore his ACL in 2018, and they say they take 2 years to, completely heal.
Yeah, 2
Yep.
years.
So with him being 2019, he still was like in that recovery year. So I mean, like for them to run the ball as
Dude,
much as they did and
Brian.
stuff, I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking everybody.
So Jimmy G has a 74.1 QBR rating, 160 yards a game, 4 TDs and 6 INTs in the playoffs. Injuries don't matter. He just wasn't as good in the playoffs as he was in the regular season. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
No.
that's totally facts. That's true, totally facts. But that's what I was asking though, like because when he does get into the playoffs, it's like, are you injured? Is that why you're not playing the way you are?
Mhm.
Is that why Kyle's taking the ball out of your hands and then like it's just completely being a run game?
That's why
Or are
Kyle's
you
having
just
to pass under 15 times a game.
Well,
or is it just something totally like mentality for Jimmy, So I don't know.
like again, like a lot of people don't like this, but this is facts. Jimmy Garoppolo, coming off an ACL injury, he was wearing that brace, and even in 2020 when he was playing for only 6 games, he was wearing that brace. In 2021, that brace came off. So mentally in his brain, like RG3 when he suffered his knee or ankle injury, mentally he was never the same. Some players mentally just don't come back from injuries. So I personally think that Jimmy, like physically, can play. Mentally, that's why he stopped. Maybe I think why he stopped running because he was afraid to get hurt. But when he tried to run, I think mentally, I think that's how it is because
That was in the back of his mind.
Carson
Yeah.
Wentz was having an MVP season, and he suffered ACL. Carson Wentz has never been the same quarterback he once was. So some players just mentally in their brain cannot play after an injury, and it sucks.
Yep.
So I think Jimmy, if like he never had the ACL, I think Jimmy would be playing like Brock Purdy. But I think mentally, like in his brain,
That handicaps him.
Yeah.
That handicaps him, huh?
Yeah. So during the playoffs, high pressure situation. He threw a very bad interception in 2019, and then Raheem Mostert in the conference was just like destroying everybody on the ground.
Yep.
So why throw the ball? But then he gets a bad rep because he didn't throw the ball. But I mean, like for me, honestly, if we win by a field goal and it's a Super Bowl, I don't care. We won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. At the end of the day, people are like, oh, I want stats, but would you rather have stats in the Super Bowl or raise the Lombardi? And some people are like, well, I want stats and the Lombardi. It doesn't work that way.
Doesn't work that way exactly. Stats nowadays are very skewed.
Yeah.
Stats don't matter if you don't have a defense. Just look at Deshaun Watson in 2019. That's all I have to say, really. Deshaun Watson was putting up those immaculate numbers, but his defense was trash that year. That they were playing from behind.
2020.
That's why.
2020.
Yeah, 2020 before the suspension, but yeah, they were playing from behind. That's why he put up those numbers because they were playing from behind in garbage time.
That's why I'm worried about Trey Lance. I wonder how, in his head, is he gonna be thinking about the injuries that he had on his foot, how he's gonna recover from that. The injury might not be there no more, but in the back of your head, your mind, is he gonna be worried about that? Is that gonna interfere with him?
Yeah, I remember a tale of a good friend of mine. He was a good track runner, and he was doing cross country. And during the cross country uh, event, he blew out his knee, like he blew it out. And after that, he couldn't run no more. At the age of 15 years old, at the age of 15, he he was scared to run. He was scared to run, and he got into a bit of depression. Luckily, he had friends like me, good teachers, good counselors, and then by his senior year, it took him a few years before he started running, just running for fun. But after that, he said, I don't want to do cross country. Some people are just mentally like, it's scary. Luckily he didn't go like some other people who I knew when I was playing, in my early 20s. They got into drinking, and that's not, when you're depressed and you're drinking, that's not a good combination.
Yeah, self-loathing. Yeah,
It's not scary.
And that this one guy I know I was in high school with, he was getting hurt, but he is the opposite with him. He probably could have came back strong and ever, but he wanted to be cool. So
he turned to the streets.
no, the doctor told him he needed to put the cane on the left hand side. The crutches on the left hand side walk. But he wanted to be cool, so he put it on the right hand side. And so the injury never really healed. Because he's putting all his weight on that side. On that leg. So most of it was him being hard headed instead of being listen. But so I got the 49ers, and everybody got the 49ers. I pray that
we sweep on here.
Oh, yeah, I pray that happens too.
Yep.
Sunday, January 15, we got 3 games. We got the Dolphins at the Bills.
Buffalo, Tua's not playing that game. They just confirmed him now. They're definitely winning this first game. Yeah. Give me Buffalo.
Okay. Bryant?
I would love to see an upset. Not trying to be mean or anything, but I think Buffalo is going to get fueled by, America. I think, they're going to be super favored in this game. And with the quarterback change and stuff, you can't really count the Dolphins. So if the Dolphins was to win, that'd be a super, super huge upset. But just for the pick'ems, I'm gonna take the Bills because I think the Bills are gonna win it. But I would be happy to see the Dolphins win, just for the upset.
Okay, Bryant. You're not Bryant? Sorry, John Jay.
Right, John Jay.
So it's been announced that Tua is not going to be playing in this game.
Skylar Thompson, yeah.
So they're going to have their backup quarterback. A lot of people, when Miami was 8-3, they're talking about, they're going to go to the Super Bowl, and they found out that there were frauds because
they peaked. Yep.
Who they were. And I was the only person who was right. And Buffalo, they're in the mission to play for their fallen brother. One thing that you're going to see Buffalo in these playoffs, that they're going to give everything because they want to win the title. And it's not for organization. It's not for, the players, to have that. I think that what happened a few weeks ago on Monday Night Football, those players are like, we're going to win this title for our fallen brother. And so I got Buffalo, and I think they're going to make a big statement against Miami. I got Buffalo.
Yeah, I think so too.
David?
The Miami ain't winning nothing without Tua. And
they were probably still not winning with Tua. They beat them on Monday night.
They played this team. They played this team, when they were 8-3, and this team kind of, they're really good. And they literally wrecked the Dolphins. and they haven't been the same
They
since.
wrecked them on Saturday night, yeah.
That's right. And, that 49ers team is still on a roll. So hopefully we can keep going. But, yeah, the Bills, definitely.
And I'm taking the Bills. Of course, I would not take the Dolphins. No way. I'll have to be drunk.
I have nothing.
Oh wow, I gotta be drunk.
No, and that's the whole thing too. Like I totally believe the Bills are going to win this game. I just would like I like seeing a good game, and I don't want to see it just be lopsided. And I think all of America is going to be rooting for the Bills. So I'm going to say the Bills too because I want to be right too. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Dolphins come out and contend.
Okay. Corey, I just said that. Okay, next is the New York Giants, which they let us down, kept us from getting the first seed.
Relax. You'll smack the Eagles. Don't worry. Relax. You'll smack the Eagles.
Oh man.
New York Giants at the Vikings, Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, in Minnesota, yeah. And the spread is 3, I think. So, yeah. You already know who I'm taking. But, ironically, this is ironic. Heading into this game, I thought our offense would sell against the Vikings, but for me, I'm more concerned about the secondary than I am with the offense. And we have a lack of skill position at the wide receiving core. I know Daniel Jones and those dudes are going to show up. It's just I'm worried about our secondary showing up to contain Justin Jefferson and those dudes. We could have easily won that game on offense, but our secondary sold at the last minute. But I'm still going to take us by a slight margin because we're getting more healthier at secondary. So, yeah, Giants.
Brian?
All right. Here it goes. So the Vikings are probably going to win this game. And what happens if the Niners play Seattle and we win? Then the Vikings come to play us, right? And then you guys, you like that? All right. So no. That's not what I'm getting at. The Vikings are a really good team, and I really think if they did end up playing the 49ers in the playoffs, that would be probably a really good game because they can exploit the Niners coverage. But we're talking about the Giants versus the Vikings, and the Giants going into Minnesota, and Minnesota they think they got this game, and I'm gonna take the upset. I'm taking the Giants. I'm gonna take the Giants. I think the Giants are gonna come in. They're gonna play blue collar football, and they're gonna stop Jefferson, and they're gonna hit Kirk Cousins, and I'm gonna be saying you like that, and everybody's gonna be like, yeah, I like that. So I'm going Giants.
John Jay?
I'm using that for Sunday.
Yeah, so
you like that?
Yeah, I'm using that.
So speaking what Corey, said, the Giants screwed tonight. I'm just joking.
No.
I'm just playing. But let's be
At least
serious.
they give you notice, but yeah.
Let's be serious. So you guys played the Vikings this year, YTC.
Yeah.
You guys
And we
lost.
lost.
You guys lost by a field goal. And I know Giants fans are still angry at that game, right?
Yes, I was pissed. Our secondary was selling. We could have easily won that game. Daniel Jones drove down the field to win that game and tie it up.
So
our defense sold.
So you guys are upset. Your coach is probably saying, you know what, I got to get my revenge. And I know all your players are like, we're not going to have them beat us twice. I think that you guys mentally want to get that payback. And imagine if you guys beat the Vikings, a team, they're really good this year. Wouldn't it be that so funny? This game, I said the Jaguars and the Chargers are going to be I think this game is going to be a more fun game to watch. The Vikings are not going to blow you guys out. They're not going like all the Vikings. We're going to blow these guys out.
No, our defense will keep us in.
What I do worry about is your wide receivers. Can they catch the football?
Of course. Yeah.
And your defense, like you said, your defense is not a top tier defense. But I do think that this game is going to be so close that it's going to come down to whoever has the ball at the end.
Like it did the other game, which hopefully it's us.
This game was very hard for me to choose because the Vikings offense put points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
But when you guys were overseas and you guys played the Packers, I think you guys are going to win this game. I got the Giants winning. This time, you guys are going to kick the field goal and make them cry. Go Giants.
All right.
Hey, David.
Well, this is just like one of those games that, I mean, could go either way.
Yeah.
And the Giants very much did disappoint me in Week 18, letting their hold on. Listen to my reasoning. You ready for this?
Uh-oh.
They let their division rival get the first seed in the playoffs. Literally. Here, have the first seed on a platter. It's all yours.
I mean,
here you go, buddy.
Oh, wow.
Really?
I mean, the game was 6 points with our backup, so it just made them look more fraudulent.
But still,
we almost came back in that game.
If you guys would have played your starters, I'm convinced you would have won that game.
We could have played Tyrod Taylor. We would have won that.
I don't know why you didn't play Tyrod.
I don't know why he didn't play. He had to play that fucking third.
No, because the Hurt Business was struggling to throw these balls. He only had one good throw, and he was struggling in that game.
And that's the thing is he kind of rushed himself back for that game. And there's a lot of reports that say that Jalen Hurts is still hurt.
His shoulder is still lingering, yeah, and it's affecting his throwing ability.
So I mean, we'll see what happens. I think the Eagles are frauds. I think the Vikings are frauds. The Giants, I honestly do think they're going to win this game. But when it comes to position players, I don't think they have enough to get by the next round.
Probably. I just want to get off the first round.
I'm talking like wide receivers, tight ends. I don't.
Yeah, that's what next year's offseason is going to be for us, for sure.
Yeah, and the fact that if you do win this game, you'll be. Hold on, let's see. You're the what, 6th seed?
They would have to play the Eagles.
Yeah, unless Seattle upsets you guys, but I doubt that.
Yeah, you would have to go to your division rival's place that you just
and you guys would be forced to play your starters.
All right. Well, hey, here's a thought to think of. Who would be a bigger upset, the Giants versus the Vikings, or the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Chargers?
Given skill position, it would be us. It would probably be us. Given skill position. You guys got it in your guys' franchise history to do those upsides. So for I don't know. Minnesota, so I'm not taking them lightly either. Minnesota's done a lot of crazy shit in the playoffs.
I'm gonna make a promise right now. I'm gonna make a promise right now. If you guys beat the Vikings, I am going to stream the Eagles and the Giants on my channel.
I'm doing that too, but yeah.
I'm going to stream that on that.
And imagine if we pull the upset in that game. I just imagine, but we can't further get ahead of ourselves.
And I'm gonna invite BPS, and he'll be talking trash my entire stream because I'm gonna let him.
All right. Don't worry, he'll be quiet by the half.
Okay. So, you said.
All right, moving on. Yeah, we gotta move on.
No, I haven't gave you mine yet.
Oh, you haven't given your pick. I forgot, Corey. All right, so what are you picking, Corey?
Let me ask a question. When y'all played, when the Vikings and Giants played, who was home time field?
It was in Minnesota. This game's again is in Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, but I had to pick the Vikings.
All right, you're the only one. I get it.
Because, I'm thinking, if it was in the Giants Stadium in New York, I would probably pick the Giants. Because I don't think Minnesota plays good when they're outside.
When they have to travel?
Well, they went 13-4 this year, so I don't think they played hard.
Yeah, they're only
on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I know a lot of times when you come outside, the team that's in the dome, they come outside is not good for them.
Mm-hmm. But their lucks might run out, and this might be the game because they can't get lucky forever. And the luck's going to run out eventually.
But
With these one-score games.
The Vikings, but I hope I'm wrong. But I just have
All right.
a feeling that the Vikings is gonna win this one.
I want to stream that game so badly. If I could have BPS. Yo, John, thanks for inviting me so I can school these Giants fans.
You know, I think when I was on the 49 roundtable with CG and David and them, and I was trying to think of saying, but I said they got off the subject. I didn't want to go back to the subject. You know, I said Jimmy G and Kirk Cousins. I mean, Vikings fans feel the same way they feel that we feel about Jimmy G. They feel about Kirk Cousins. They don't want Kirk Cousins. I hear the Vikings fans always say, please get rid of him. They feel the same way we feel with Jimmy G.
Because they don't have that it factor. They can put up statistics, but they don't have that it factor.
The clutch factor, yeah, when it comes to the playoffs.
Also,
because isn't Kirk like 1-4 in the playoffs? Kirk is like 1-3. It's only one against the Saints.
The Vikings defense is 29th in the league. How did they win 13 games?
Mm-hmm.
They got that wide receiver.
Justin Jefferson's that dude. That's why.
Well, yeah, of course. You know, he's not awful, but like, are you saying that all the
he's Mr. Minnesota?
Because then, like, again, I want to take a good example from Chicago Sports Talk, Michael. They should have lost to the Bears, but they're running.
Oh yeah, that first game
fumbled the ball at the end of the game. The Lions.
The first meeting.
The Lions were going down the field with 1:09, and their wide receiver fumbled the ball inbound, and then the Vikings picked it up and ran the clock out. So that's 2 games that they should have lost. So at the end of the day, you know, like it is what it is. But
also they were down heavily against Washington. It's just that Washington happened to chill.
And also the Colts had a 33-0 lead, and then they blew it.
Mm-hmm.
So the Vikings have been so lucky this year.
Their luck's about to run out this Saturday. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, like, if the Vikings do win, they're coming to the 49ers, and they're going to finally face a defense for the first time.
Either way, they're fucked either way. Yeah.
Because the last time they came over here, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play well. We still kicked their butts.
Mm-hmm.
So just remember that.
Yeah, because they can't stop the run. So expect McCaffrey to go off against that defense if they do go to you guys.
Anyway.
Okay, next game.
All right, next game.
The last game of Sunday.
Okay.
The Ravens at the Bengals.
Bengals. For some reason, Joe Burrow's owned fucking Lamar over there, and it's in Cincinnati. They have one of the most complete rosters in the NFL right now on the offensive side, I think, and they're more complete than the Ravens right now. And I think Lamar coming back from injury is not going to, he's not going to be 100% coming back, so I'll definitely take the Bengals at home.
Okay, Bryant.
Yeah, that was going to be my first question, besides what color the Bengals are wearing. But no, seriously, is Lamar really playing? Because I've heard a lot of people say it, and I don't think, necessarily coming out, you're 100%. You could be dynamite.
If he comes back, exactly. If he still comes back, then he's not 100%.
So I'm going to go the Bengals because I think the Bengals have a lot to prove. I'm thinking the Bengals might make it to the AFC Championship, just depending on how everything, pans out. So go Bengals.
John Jay.
All right. So Lamar's last game was against the Broncos where he got hurt, and Tyler Huntley basically did not look really good, and they barely won 10-9. They played against the Steelers. The Steelers beat them, but then they lost to Cleveland. They beat the Atlanta Falcons, and basically they lost to Cincinnati and the Steelers. So Tyler Huntley is projected to be the quarterback because it's just been reported, and I want to make sure I'm reading this correctly, that Lamar not looking good for Sunday. Okay, that's the headline, saying that he still is not ready to return. So I don't know if he does play, how healthy he's going to be. He's also missed 16 straight practices, so he has not been practicing for 2.5 weeks. So that is a very scary sign. And just because,
And also, go ahead.
Because of that, at the end of the day, when it comes to the playoffs, you do need a competent quarterback. And if Tyler Huntley is going to, and again,
he's not.
He's going to be playing a very, very
good
serious
Bengals
team that I think the Bengals are a very dangerous threat in the AFC that
Yeah.
no one is seeing. So I'm going to go with my gut, and I'm going to have the Bengals winning this game. No disrespect to the 3-game rule, but again, Lamar maybe just will probably force himself not to play any more games this year.
Yeah.
So,
You also want to know why? Because they paid their middle linebacker a longer extension before they paid him. So he's going to have a lot of turmoil and tension with that front office.
On Lamar that he's basically has an 80% chance of not playing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I got the Bengals.
Okay. Hello, CG, Ruthless Sports. 49 Talk. Okay, I'm sorry.
Congratulations. He got 1K subs.
Congrats,
All right.
CG.
Congratulations, CG.
And
thank you.
this time, do not ruin your money.
Not mess it up.
Don't
Do not mess it up. Yep.
Don't
No
say
copyright, no
nothing.
money.
Don't jinx him, man. Come on.
I'm giving
He'll
him.
be fine.
I'm
He'll
giving
be
him.
We're
fine.
giving him advice.
I'm giving him advice because, hey Brian, I don't want to be a bully, but he took a video that was already uploaded on another channel, and he took it. I don't know how he got it, and then that's how he lost his monetization. And I told him,
Copyright
don't do
content.
copyright claims, don't do that stuff. And he's learned because again,
Yeah, he's been grinding.
I have a warning strike. I got a warning strike, and I haven't put anything. But because I didn't know the music, which I didn't know it was like owned by Warner Brothers Music. I thought because I paid $5 for it and the license, so that hurt me. So you have to be really careful. That's why I don't use the YouTube Studio. I use the generic stock of music that I have in my
Library. Yeah.
iTunes.
Hey, John Jay, your intro to your channel, I wouldn't
That's
change
really
it,
good,
man.
yeah.
It's fire, dude. It's like listening to Dateline or something like that, and the way you do your show, it's like the report, so it's like you're listening to the news come on, and I'm not knocking it.
Like
I think you got a really good intro. Now, when your show ends, you don't have any sound at all. And I
that'd
don't
be
know.
cool to have an outro. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you said you had an outro, and I don't think I've ever heard it. So
I never said I had an outro ever.
Yeah, but
well, you should consider getting one though.
Well, yeah, it's not easy making this music stuff. Just to let you know, it's not easy. Okay.
I mean, you'll have time to do in the off season, but yeah.
Again, thank you, CG, for having me on a 49ers roundtable and NFC West roundtable. Thank you for having me on there.
Yeah, CG needs to do more like live stream, like question shows, so he can get the watch hours up there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or just do the hangout streams like you used to do, CG. That works too.
East Coast, ready and go broadcast. I saw your show today with Dwight Hicks. Liked it.
They're such a great show. They got a great panel, great atmosphere.
Little Cowboy.
Dude, how did you guys get Dwight Hicks? That's awesome.
I know, like
flex.
No disrespect, like I don't know how CG, I don't know how all these people get these players. I've tried, I don't know what I need to do because number one, I can't afford anybody. But at the end of the day, like how did they get all these because Matt Mayoko, he works for the Niners. The Dwight Hicks, former 49ers player.
Yeah, CG has a big circle. I don't know how he does it.
Well, I know I know one of the four I think is in the sports press.
At this,
I don't know the whole story, but I think Jess is, but I don't.
yeah.
You know.
At this point, I'm convinced CG has a bunch of guys on payroll to monitor
Now-
social media to get
now-
guys.
I'm not going to lie. I don't know how Steve Weich, came on my channel. That's a miracle, and we had a fun time. Of course, I got Bay Area sports legend Vern Glenn. Good dude. We had a fun time. But after that, I haven't been able to get anyone. So
I'll get breaks on Wright, Oregon State, CB next week, hopefully.
What are you getting?
But at the end of the day, hey, congratulations to everyone who are able to get those. Because personally, for me,
Oh, he's getting an Oregon State cornerback.
personally for me, at the end of the day, as long as I do as long as I do what I love to do, I'm having fun. Because again, I'm not here to become.
I'm not here for the money.
I'm not here to become like super famous. I just want to have fun talking 49ers football. And if I'm lucky enough to turn this to like a day job, then that will be really fun.
Hey, CG.
Is CG coming on? CG, come on.
He's with his wife.
No, yeah.
He's with his wife.
Yeah, he's with his wife. He can't.
Yeah.
Or when he's at work, chasing homeless people off the construction site or whatever he does.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
One time
You remember
he
that?
was screaming, and he had to leave, and he was helping a lady. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Hey, CG has a good boss for him to be able to stream.
Mm-hmm.
My boss was like, "You can't do that. We'll fire you."
Dude, my boss is like, I don't want to see you on your cell phone. He's like 80, and he's former Navy, and he just despises cell phones. He hates cell phones with a passion. So
Of
it's
course.
like when you're on the job, you do not get on your cell phone.
Mhm.
But
See, I have
that's also that's all. There's also areas of work where you typically won't see him, so you can hop on for a second here and there, or like you guys are streaming during the day. Typically, I'll walk back in the paint booth because nobody bugs me when I'm in there, and I'll tuck around the corner and type some stuff in the chat and stuff like that, But yeah, everybody knows better than to bug me in there. It's just one of those things. Don't bug me when I'm doing this.
Yeah, see, I have a position where my bosses couldn't communicate through my phone, so it's like wherever I'm at on property, they're like, "Hey, why can't I get a hold of you? I called you on your phone." So, I like they don't care what I'm doing, as long as I get my job done. So I listen to the YouTube like radio. So
Okay.
Hey, what's up, Bebop? There's Bebop, Cowboy Angel.
Just going to games and It's just going to games and networking, etc.
Mhm.
Guess he's asking John's question.
Mhm.
That's how he gets his gas.
Wow.
I'm doing Hangout soon.
Mhm.
I'll do a Hangout soon, CG says. In February, I'll work on it.
Mhm.
I'm with my wife.
Yep. I know this dude way too well now.
I cursed them out. Cursed out.
Probably all those like little troublemakers at his job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me,
That
was-
show was a treat. Y'all got to subscribe to East Coast.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm already subscribed to them.
Yeah. Yep.
And
great show.
Forever Faithful.
Yeah. Dude, Dwight Hicks is funny as hell. I mean, that was an awesome show.
Oh man. And see, I was a supervisor, in my old job, and I had to deal with a lot of like the younger workers, like the younger workers, and all they would do is would just be on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. But this was before TikTok. This is just the main, and that's all they were doing. So one day I walk in and we have two female coworkers who are just arguing about personal stuff that men should not walk into. And I'm like, first of all, take that conversation outside. Second, you can't be talking in here. There's people recording you. Third, if I have to confiscate your phones because that's one of the rules, I'm going to do that. So if you got to talk some personal, private stuff, go to the parking lot, go home. So when it came to cell phone users, using your cell phones, you can use your cell phones, but at the end of the day, don't yell out your personal stuff, especially two women talking about certain things that men are not supposed to be listening to. So I had to write them up. No disrespect. They hated me, but they were going a little bit way too in deep about personal stuff that should have been left at their house. So
Okay.
it's just sad.
Bro.
Yeah.
Bro, we had a guy working at the place I currently work at. He's not there anymore. And we thought he might have had Tourette's. We really, truly thought he did. But he always had this earbud in. And it turns out he did not have Tourette's. He was arguing with his girlfriend. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things that would come out of his mouth, you do not say to a lady. I'll say that right now. You'll hear him yell the C word that rhymes with hunt.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
know.
But he's over in the corner of the shop, and you just hear it. You just hear it yell out. You're like, "What the hell is going on over there?"
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, seriously, we thought he had issues, and we never said anything to him because we thought he had issues.
Mm-hmm.
But afterwards I found out he did not.
Yeah, that's you gotta be mature.
Yeah.
Clean mouth, clean soul. Clean heart.
Yep.
So.
Yep, this is true.
Okay, so David, still haven't heard your pick. We got off subject.
Oh.
Oh yeah, we got way off the subject.
Okay, but
Yeah,
so
what
pick we on? What pick we on here?
The Bengals and the Ravens.
Ravens and the Bengals.
I'm picking the Bengals. They're the hotter team going in.
Let's go.
I think
On top of that,
panel.
Lamar Jackson hasn't played in how long? I mean,
long time.
Yeah.
Lamar's going to be in his feelings. You know why? Because Roquan got paid. He didn't get paid. He's going to want that money. I know he's sick right now. Somewhere over there. He didn't get paid.
Really?
Yeah, they paid Roquan
that money, huh?
5 years for $100 million plus, I think. They paid him the whole bag.
Well, technically, $45 million guaranteed. All the others
That's
are.
Like
but still, I know Lamar's sick either way. He didn't get paid. How did this guy get paid before I did?
Well, who cares? All right.
So Corey, you have my weekly my yearly total wins, right?
Yeah.
You have that info? Okay.
Yeah, I got yours. Sure. I got everybody except Dina.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't actually seen her normally there's a group I'm part of messaging wise, and she's in it, and I haven't even seen her in that. So I don't know what's going on. It's been a few days.
Hope she's okay. Hope she's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I heard from her, but she didn't give me her count.
I hope she is, because she's definitely in the trenches over there in Philly.
She only had one winning record. She said when Philadelphia lost. So, but I still don't. I don't know. I didn't write everything down for other people. I should have did that. Kept air track, but I was like, that's a lot of paper to be holding.
Yeah, next year. Next year.
That's a lot of. That is.
Next year, if you want to do this again, Corey, if you want somebody to be a recorder or something, I'm not going to volunteer, but if you need somebody.
Well, that's what I got my videos for. But yeah, we'll see next year.
Okay, Crazy Juice says Bengals. Oh, come on. Get out of my way.
Lamar isn't playing, is what CG says.
Yeah, Lamar isn't playing.
I don't think he's gonna be a Raven anymore.
Dude, what do you think? I mean, he bet on himself, and he didn't even play. So what's he gonna get? Is a team gonna offer him a $20 million 1-year prove
Yeah,
it deal?
CJ says Bengals. And guess
if I'm
what?
Lamar, go to the Jets. I don't know at this point.
Hey, you imagine him at the Saints in New Orleans? Oh man,
Dude,
with that defense.
they have Taysom Hill. They have Taysom
Yeah, but
Hill.
he's not
Yeah,
really
they got
a
the white
quarterback.
Lamar over there.
Well,
White Lamar.
Well-
That's so wrong. That's so wrong.
Well, like,
Let me get. Can I get my pick?
Oh, sorry,
go
Corey.
Sorry, Corey.
Yeah.
Bengals. I got the Bengals because I don't
Yeah.
even though Lamar was playing, I don't think he'd be 100%, and I don't think I just don't. He'd probably be a lot of rusty in him
yeah.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I picked the Bengals. Okay, now y'all go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I was gonna say I was gonna say this, like, in my gut, I found this out last year that their former general manager, what they would do is if a player was really good, they would try to pay him a team friendly deal, and if they wanted, they would either trade him before their contract ended, or they would just let him go on the free agent market. And I personally feel, because Lamar is probably not going to finish, no disrespect to Ravens, their season is done after this weekend. Then they got to focus on next year, and they're probably going to franchise tag Lamar, which will be a huge savings for them, and it will be fully guaranteed, because when you get franchise tag, just like I said, yesterday on Roberto's stream, a franchise tag is that we like you, but we don't like you enough to pay you the money you want. That's basically what it means. That's why once they're done, they cannot re-sign because they go on the free agent market. So at the end of the day, because of the new free agents, the new franchise tag rules, if you franchise tag Lamar, they're basically saying that we may have to draft a quarterback because we may not know if he's going to re-sign with us in 2024. Now, I could be wrong. But at the end of the day, if Lamar does leave, one team is going to pay him a lot of money. So for him, like, he doesn't care if he stays in Baltimore because he's going to get cash somewhere else. Where is he going to go? I don't know. I do not know.
CG says he might play for Seattle, for Seahawks.
Oh, that would be scary.
No.
That'd be scary.
Well, for your sake, you better hope he goes to the Jets.
Yeah, I don't want to play for Seattle.
Oh, it could end up with the Giants.
That's true.
No, they got
I was waiting for YTC to say something, but he didn't.
That's plan B right there. But plan A is signing
B. He said, dude, imagine Lamar goes to your team. Your boy RJ will be so happy because he'll finally get the quarterback he wants.
Yep, and he'll realize the philosophy I've been trying to tell him about these quarterbacks. If that's the case.
Dude, I bet you if that happens, he's going to make a live stream. What I tell you, we're going to go win a bunch of Super Bowls. I'm calling it right now.
I like the Giants quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll see.
Right situation. He's a even if he doesn't produce this if he doesn't win this playoff game, he's still
overachieved. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's still going to command a contract. Like, a lot of people forget, he's a free agent. He's not he's a free agent.
Yeah.
So
because we didn't get fifth-year option him. That was the biggest mistake right there. But yeah, we have to pay him, no choice.
Well, it's also a business decision that the Giants hadn't seen enough to the point where they wanted to fifth-year him. Yeah,
we'll see what
he'd been a lot of time injured, so they haven't necessarily seen enough out of the guy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in March. Like, once March hits, then you'll start to see how teams are going to assemble their rosters with free agency.
Yeah.
I hate.
Well, I'm focused on this week though. Before free agency, I'm just more focused on the week.
CG say he hate to see Lamar in Seattle, and Cowboy
Michael
ain't.
LaFleur's out of New York, so maybe.
Mike
Yeah, they fired
LaFleur is
Michael
out.
LaFleur. They fired their offensive coordinators.
New York Jets.
No, because they placed all the blame on him because of Zach Wilson being trashed. Allegedly, they placed the blame on Michael LaFleur not being able to develop him.
Allegedly. You said
But then there's some in the building that just think Zach Wilson's trash. So the office is really divided in the Jets right now. They're very dysfunctional right now.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really divided.
Ooh,
Monday.
is Robert
I'm
Sala
gonna
back after? Sorry, Corey.
Monday.
Our final game.
Monday, January 18th. I'm sorry, 16th.
Mhm.
I'm gonna miss this game because I'm gonna be out of town that day.
Okay.
It's the Cowgirls at the
Succaneers.
Buccaneers. Okay.
Hey, Buccaneers. That's a good one. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I couldn't think of nothing. I said Cowgirls, and I was like,
That's even
Cowgirls and
that's
the
even
Succaneers.
YouTube friendly. That's even YouTube friendly from what I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Oh, you gonna say the fucking ears? No, I'm
Oh,
Whoa. You did
Yeah.
This
oh
is gonna
my
be taken down.
god!
It's gonna be taken down.
Oh, we just
Corey Davis, you violated community guidelines.
violated community or Kent.
Anyway, who
I'll
cares?
stop.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're doing the Buccaneers versus the Cowboys.
yeah.
All right. YTC.
All right, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't, he's gonna pick his
Buccaneers.
favorite team.
Why are you picking the Bucks?
Because one, Tom Brady owns that team for some reason. Number two, that defense is going to eat Dak alive, and Dak's been turning the ball over. If you look at his numbers, he's played horrible. Like in the last couple of weeks, he's been turning the ball over, overthrowing a lot of guys. They lost to the Commanders with Sam Howell. What more do I have to say? He's been playing horrible.
Sam Howell was a good quarterback. Stop doubting him.
He's horrible. No, not Zach Howell. He's horrible though. Dak. He's been playing horrible for the last couple of weeks. So I'm definitely going to take Tom Brady, especially in the playoffs. Tom Brady in the playoffs. I'm not going to deny Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Well, at the end of the day, you saw Sam Howell. Get ready for some Sam Howell next year. To all Giants fans.
Not if they screw him over.
Anyway, who cares?
Yeah.
Okay,
move
right.
I'm going to take the Buccaneers. I'm going to take the Buccaneers because I don't believe the Cowboys play the same when they're on the road. I don't believe they're going to play the same in the playoffs. I think they got a good team, everything, but there's something that's just not right. And maybe it's the coach. Maybe it's the coach, but you can't really say that because the coach won the Super Bowl in Green Bay. He has to have some kind of talent, so it was just Aaron Rodgers. No, there was a little bit more to that, so he's got Dak and he's just not making it work there. So this is Tom Brady.
Horrible.
Yeah, and this is Tom Brady. I'm going to go Tom Brady, and I'm not going to predict the Super Bowl championship or anything like that just yet. But I'm going to say I wouldn't be surprised to see Tom Brady against the Niners in the championship game. For the NFC because that's Tom Brady. You don't count him out in the playoffs.
Okay, John J. Excuse me, John J.
Yeah, so for whatever the reason, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a losing record. They're 8-9. So I want to first say check mark because I knew Tampa was going to have they were going to regress, and everyone's saying Tampa's going to win 14 games. I think people need to apologize to me because I was right. I've always been right, and I always do that once the outcome comes out because I don't want to overhype myself. But let's be serious for a moment. I got the Buccaneers pulling up the upset, even though they're the home team. This is going to be an upset. The Cowboys are 12-5. The Cowboys technically have the better team. The Cowboys, their defense, technically is also better than the Buccaneers defense. But This is the playoffs. This is brand new. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers, and until the Cowboys can win a playoff game, they're going to be a good regular season team and will always lose in the playoffs. That's their curse. They have been cursed for some reason. I don't know why they lose. Their only victory was against the
Seahawks.
The Seahawks and Detroit Lions.
And the old saying goes, for the Cowboys, what can go wrong will go wrong, and that's what's going to happen.
Okay. David?
I am going with the Buccaneers. The commies have a similar defense to the Buccaneers. And, the Buccaneers offense ain't going to have their third string QB. The Cowboys just lost to the commies with their third string QB. So when it comes down to it, I don't think the Cowboys have what it takes to go all the way to Tampa Bay and win a game. So I'm going with the Bucs.
Okay, and Crazy Juice chose the Bucks. Angel, he says, LOL, hello, LOL. Guess because of my comment I made.
Oh, boo! I just found out that the Giants got the first team Fox. They got Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olson. Ooh, told you the NFL did this on purpose. They gave us the first game. Anyway, my bad.
And the Cowboy Angels said the Bucks.
Damn it.
TB Niners fan. Niner game with Kaz. Hello, how you doing? Hope you had a great day.
It's the other goat.
Jump in, Wolf, if you can.
If he can.
Yeah, we only got 5 on, buddy. We got one more spot.
Yep. And CGC said Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So before I forget, my bad. Before I forget, I'm doing the watch along on Saturday. Anyone is invited. I'm gonna do a group chat on Instagram, and I'm gonna send the link. You guys can pop in when the game starts or whenever you guys have time. So I'm doing a watch party so we can watch the game together, react together. So.
And Crazy Juice said the reason they curse because they are delusional as hell.
Delusional.
And CG says, yo, Wolfcast. And Wolfcast says, yo, what's up, CG? Now, it's time for my pick. I keep going back and forth with these two teams because, yes, Cowboys had a sorry game against Commanders. But as a divisional game, and all divisional games are not easy.
Mm-hmm.
But Cowboys been struggling too. Away games. A lot of away games they've been struggling. But the Buccaneers too. I just don't like it's hard for them to score over 20 points. They gotta keep it low. And I'm just my gut feeling. I hate to say this. I hope I'm wrong. I'm not gonna follow everybody. I'm going with the Cowgirls. Even though, but I would love to play the Cowgirls. I said this on NFC West yesterday evening. I got a whole bunch of friends I know is Cowboys, and he's always calling me every time the Cowboys win. But he don't call me when they don't, and I can't get in touch with him.
Damn.
I try to call him, he don't answer. But he try to call me, and he calls me and say, did you see them? What about them Cowboys? Your 49ers suck. They gonna lose.
Oh, wow.
Or he can say,
wow.
I hope your 49ers better make it to the playoffs and we play y'all. Cause we gonna take y'all out this time. This time we're gonna beat y'all. And I'm like, no, you're not. The Cowboys still gonna lose.
Also, they can't be talking because their quarterback is an established veteran. Our quarterback is Brock Purdy, so they
Yeah.
can't say nothing.
But I'm gonna pick the Cowgirls, but I'm kind of hope I'm wrong. I would love to send like to play the Buccaneers and send them home, send Tom Brady packing, and maybe our linebackers can go take another football to Tom Brady and get him to sign it. But I'm gonna take the Cowboys on this, Cowgirls on this one. I hope I'm wrong. My gut feeling says the Cowgirls, but
I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't. But I think that's just the way Cowboys are. They're gonna make a bunch of noise and then that's what happens. That's all they do.
Mhm. They've been cursed. Like literally, they have been cursed. The Niners, we've had some tough years, but when we were in the playoffs, we have won games. We have won
Well,
games.
I think the difference is I think we've been getting out of that gray cloud.
I mean, the
that
Niners
rain
have been to
cloud.
more NFC Championship games compared to the Cowboys in the last 25
I
years,
like.
so that should tell you.
I was looking back since the last time the Niners won the Super Bowl.
And you won the
Niners,
2 Super Bowls more recently
Niners-
compared to
the
them.
Niners have played in 18 playoff games. We are 10-8. The Cowboys, I think, have played like in 6 games, and they're 2-4. So even though we've had our drought and we've had a lot of losing seasons, when we had our opportunities, we made them count at least. So even though we've been awful, we've made our victories count.
okay, Cowboy Angel says Stephen A. Smith called the Commanders Lionel Richie in the
Lionel Richie.
Commodores. LOL.
You gotta be old enough to understand that.
Yeah. CG says Tom Brady never lost to the Cowboys.
And
He's
never
old.
mind.
That
Never
man's
mind.
old now.
Oh man.
Oh, wait a minute. I skipped. Hold on. 7-0 overall against the Cowboys.
Also, I just realized something very important. If the Giants win, CG, you have to invite YTC to your because you got to support your Eagles team. Anyway, I'm just playing.
You want the 49ers versus
I heard that.
Cowboys divisional round.
Because he's an Eagles fan, YTC. You
came to
can school him.
Close.
Don't worry, he'll go into hiding if we do upset them in the divisional round,
Where
assuming
you
they get out the
hiding?
first. They'll definitely be hiding, but where you're hiding.
All right.
For invention.
So if the Bucks win, even though they have a worse record than the Giants, they are still the higher seed, and they'll go to San Francisco, right?
Okay, hold on.
Okay, the Giants would have to beat the Vikings. That
Either
would
way,
first
we have to play the
have to
Eagles.
happen.
Oh yeah, no matter what happens, the Buccaneers, if they win, they're coming to Santa Clara.
Yeah, and then we have to go. If we upset the Vikings, we have to travel to Philly.
Right.
No matter what.
No, that's not true, guys. Because the Niners are the 2nd seed and the Vikings are the 3rd seed. So the Niners would play the Vikings.
Well,
that's if the Vikings win. Okay.
But that's what I'm
That's
saying.
true.
So because the Niners are the 2nd seed, they play the higher seed. So if the Giants win, then they go play Philly. But if the Cowboys win, or that's the whole different. It's
So very simple. Giants win, they're going to Philadelphia. Every other team, whatever happens, is coming to Santa Clara.
The only
I think that's
only
right.
way-
I think that's right.
The only
There
way
you
we
go.
would avoid Philly is if Seattle beats you guys, but I doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah, because if the Giants don't win, then we play the Vikings automatically. There's
No matter
no
what happens.
yeah. So if anybody else wins, then they come to the Niners. I think you're right, John.
Yeah.
Well, none of that matters if there's one game that matters right now.
We have to
But-
win, and then the playoff seedings will just happen. So at the end of the day, like all we really know is that if we see an upset, a 6 versus a 3, the Giants are going to, no matter what, the Giants, if they win, they're going to Philadelphia 100%. That's the only thing we know. So
Yeah, unless we get upset, then Seattle, then they go to
Seattle will go.
Philly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. CG saw the video. I'm trying to see if I'm about to tell who won. I'm trying to check and make sure Dina haven't sent me no message.
But yeah, like I said, my Super Bowl prediction still Niners and Buffalo. I'm still sticking by that.
Oh,
that's like
prediction.
mine. Yeah, that's been mine for a long, long time. That's because what's his name, Boomer.
Still gave me. She's not understanding what I'm saying. she gave me 5. She said 5 wins and 13 losses. And I know 1 through 18 you didn't get no, just 5 wins.
That was for probably last week.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, no, 5 wins, 13 losses. That's 18 games. There's only 16.
So basically, it's either 5-12 or 4-13. Yeah. When it comes to math, I'm a wizard with numbers. No matter, like, I don't know if it's because of my condition. Like, when it comes to numbers, I was like, I look at them and they're like, like, that's why when I was in math, even though I was a little bit slow, they're like, dude, But
math wasn't my thing, but I know numbers. But yeah.
Like, I remember one time, like, a teacher from an AP class was like, do you want to join the AP class? I said, no, I'm slow. That's why I'm in these classes. And they're like, oh. And then he gave me a test, and I did not do well. But for whatever the reason, when it came to numbers, they just come to me. I don't know how I function. Like, I look back in my life and I tell myself, how did I function with the bull crap that I had to deal with mentally?
Mm-hmm.
I will never understand.
Me, science and social studies were my thing, really. Outside of gym, I really didn't do really well in literature and math.
That's why I like Tommy. One time, Tommy, like, the early days where I was on YouTube, he says, "Oh, John Jay, I'm also autistic, but I'm a functioning autistic person." I'm like, hey,
Likewise.
Maybe I'm the same. I'm very functioning because like a lot of people who don't know me, like, yeah, I got
no, because I knew from when I was 8, I had an interest in history. Especially with video games that I had historical aspects. I knew I was into history stuff. That's how I was able to pass the classes along with.
I hated history, like, until I got into college and I learned about that a long time ago, that there were people who lived before us, and then you wonder that one day I will be part of history, and then people will get to learn about this era.
Mm-hmm.
So then I started to take history more serious, because then it just dawned to me that you need to know what happened in the past, because
things tend to repeat themselves. History tends, yeah.
They want to know, because like right now we live in a modern society. Just imagine the generation 50 years from us, when they will look, oh wow, this stuff is like ancient technology, like all these.
Yeah, no, they would probably just try to burn us at a stake, accusing us of being witches or whatever for having all this technological stuff.
Okay, CG's asking a question.
No, they would just think it's magic if you told it to someone back then.
CG's asking a question. It's hard to win 3 times. Can we lift the curse?
Well,
it's not a curse on our side right now. So we have the percentage.
So CG, I don't know if you were paying attention, because I know you and Noah were all you guys were doing were arguing most of the time. But someone dropped a super chat and they said that, oh, it was Paul Third. Paul Third, see, OCD. Paul Third says, "Yo, Noah, 67% of the time teams win 3 games." And then he made an analogy. If someone told you that you had a 33% chance of living, that's still 33% chance of living. So the same thing when it comes to this. The Seahawks technically have a 33% chance of beating us. So basically, Paul Third. I think I've seen him on Rumble before. I don't know why that popped in my head, but I gotta look at that because
Okay, yeah. I think we're gonna lift the curse, CG. I think we're gonna do it. I hope we do it. I want to do it.
I know because then Noah's like, "What I tell you, 49er fans? You were talking all that smack."
But I wouldn't say it's a curse on
No,
our
don't go into
side
hiding. It
because
happens.
the percentage is on our side. I would say maybe the curse is like getting to that 6th Lombardi.
CG, I have a question for you. If you're still here, now, since if Seattle do win Saturday, is that gonna take the thing away from Noah pieing himself, or he still got to pie himself even if they win?
So if the Seahawks win, he doesn't have to pie himself.
Guess we're on the same page.
I had this as my.
I see we're on the same page, and I also see you're acknowledging that your Eagles will lose to the 49ers.
Yeah, because that joke. And CG, I want to explain something. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying that Bird Gang, he's an Eagles fan. You're part of his network. And the joke, because you work with Eagles content creators, the joke is that you're an Eagles fan. But again, it's just a little, a little joke. Because the truth is, I know Rams fans. I'm not a Rams fan, but if they had a network, say like Peo and some of the Rams guys had a network and they invited me to be part of that network and they would pay me, then I can consider myself technically a Rams fan because that's the term. I'm hanging out in a network of Rams fans and content creators. So that's the joke. Why I say it to CG all the time, not because I'm messing with them, because that's the fact. Why I call you a Packers fan, because you said one of your family is a Packers fan. So again, that's just why I say that. It's not me scamping on you. It's just me that you told me something that you said is true. That's why it's funny.
Yeah. No, but if another team were to offer me, money to work for their network or station, I probably would have taken it.
Yeah.
To an extent, just because it would pay my money. Because as much as the Giants fan I am,
I'm gonna bring up something, and again, I don't want to bring up.
See, I can't do that. I'm sorry. I love football. I've been a 49er fan probably since I was in diapers and didn't really truly know it. My grandmother bought me so many 49er outfits. My dad just kept putting them on me because he was like, "Hey, I'm not buying baby clothes." My dad didn't tell me he was a Raider fan until like 3 years after I was watching football. And I'm like, "You're a Raider fan? You've been watching the 49ers with me for like the last 3 years." Well, the Raiders didn't get televised in Stockton, because of the blackout rule. So he would sit there and watch football with me, and then one day he just was like, "Yeah, I like the Raiders," and I'm like, "Who's the Raiders?" And I'm like, honestly, like I wasn't trying to be jerky to him or anything, but I was like totally devastated. I was like, I thought we were both 49er fans, So no, my grandmother turned me into a 49er fan. And my dad just put up with it, and he's not really that big of a football fan, but he sits there and watches the games with me, and it's fun. That's how I got into it. But my dad's brothers, all of them are Packer fans, so I pay attention to the Raiders and the Packers because that's who my family roots for. But I'm a Niner fan, and I couldn't root for or go and work for the Jets or work for because
I probably would.
I'm not like Grant Cohn. I can't say I'm not a fan. I am a fan. I what I mean. I would love to be selling hot dogs in the stadium if they would pay me. But
it would be nice working for an NFL team in general. If the
stadium would give me a 40-hour-a-week job in Levi Stadium and they paid me as much as I'm getting paid right now, I would love to work in the stadium. I don't have to be a
I would love to work at MetLife free to your team, but yeah.
I just have to pay my bills. You know what I mean?
I know, You brought up a name that I didn't want to bring up, but I wasn't bringing it up before. You said all those great memories of your time. Grant Cohen, I remember one time he said when he had a guest that he doesn't have on anymore for whatever the reason, and the guest asked him if if you were paid like more money to cover another team and go to their location. Grant Cohen says, where the money pays me, I'm gonna be allegiance to that team. He said that. So you
and
can
see, that's
tell.
where I'm like, that's why I was like, I can't be like him, or I'm a fan. I gotta admit, I'm a fan. I don't want to go to another team.
Now, say, again, like, I was talking about, say, hypothetically, I cover the 49ers, but there was a sports podcast company that were looking for 49ers content creators, and they asked me if I would be part of their team. I'll probably say yes, even if I'm not making no money or if they want to pay me. But say the majority of the people in that podcast company were Rams fans.
Mm-hmm.
I technically work with Rams, podcasters, content creators, reporters. So the logic is that I'm technically, working with these Rams content. That's the joke. But I will still root for the Niners. The same thing when I have that Vikings lady who me and her are going to be doing a lot of stuff this offseason. For whatever the reason.
Hey, John, you got to help her. You got to tell her to change her YouTube name, man. Because when someone types in, if they type in 49ers for Dummies, I tell them not to subscribe.
No, but I'll definitely be checking her channel out this week since we play them. I'll definitely be checking it out.
She's got a lot of information. She's a great guest, but type in Vikings for Dummies, no, change your YouTube.
She seems down to earth from what I've saw because that was one of her live streams.
Super chill person, great content creator, but you gotta change your YouTube name.
So first, she is Broncos for Dummies because she's a Broncos.
Oh, Broncos! Fan. I'm sorry.
The other girl that I'm talking about is Jade, the Vikings fan.
Mm-hmm.
She actually, the reason why she started her channel, which is kind of interesting, in 2015, Minnesota had like a contest for amateur reporters, and she was featured. She was featured in this contest. She did not win, but she was featured airtime on a Minnesota sports network. Mm-hmm. So for whatever the reason, she enjoyed it, and she decided, just to talk Minnesota Vikings football. She never took it serious until she met me, and she's a good person, great people. Like I'll tell you right now, it's hard to contact with her. I have to email her. Okay. But she's always down to do shows with me because, for whatever the reason, we have a weird vibe that works really well together. And for whatever the reason, people from her community want to watch me for some reason. So I don't know why, they want to watch me and her. But at the end of the day, I take that as a compliment because it shows, hey, I got a good contact. She's down to earth. She wants to do shows with me. That's what I'm looking for. People who want to build a community, build a network together, because YouTube is not a job. It's a fun hobby that if you're lucky, you can make some extra money. But at the end of the day, I enjoy working with people who love talking football because no matter what our allegiance are, we have our rivalries, but I like Squabo. He's a funny dude. I like Steezy. I like Peo. Peo's really nice. I like Rudy, even though Rudy's a bit delusional. At the end of the day, it's fun hanging out with these guys because even though we have different teams, we love.
Well, the feeling's mutual for my rival counterparts as well, including Where You're Hiding and BPS. I enjoy having those guys around.
Where You're Hiding.
As much as he antagonizes, I love having him around. I'm not gonna lie, he's really funny.
But yeah, you Giants fans, get out of the sewers. That was funny. I don't know why he said that.
But yeah, I also like having CG around.
Crazy you say, I hope we them damn Seagulls, and it's the Seagulls lose.
Noah should triple pie himself.
And Niner game.
That's gold.
That's gold. And Say that's. I guess you. Oh,
100%. I'm a fan.
he
I'm a
says
fangirl.
What?
Interesting.
I'm a fangirl.
Unless that was out of context, he must have mistyped something. I don't know.
I don't know. It might be a joke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got some
probably.
he's got some one-liners, so he's a funny guy.
He also said
But yeah, I'll be
Brady,
checking out those Viking
Brady's the
content
only.
creators if I do get the chance to see what they're thinking about my team
So,
this week.
He only
so
wants to cover the 49ers. They make for great content. And now I gotta let me see if Dina got back to me.
Alright.
Nope, not yet.
Nada? Damn.
She didn't say. Still,
Talking about what Brian said, being a Niners fan only. That's what he said. He just updated his comment.
yeah, I'm gonna miss something. I started off to be a Raider fan, but then because I didn't know nothing about the 49ers, I didn't see them. My uncles. Every time I went down to my papa's house, he had the Raiders on TV until my neighbor came and he said he showed me the 49ers and then when the Raiders left too, when they left and went to Los Angeles, I was like, and he showed me the 49ers. I was like, okay, and he took me to the first game, and that won me over. Be a 49er fan, but I wasn't when I was a Raider fan. I wasn't a diehard Raider fan. I wasn't wearing their colors like I do now.
yeah.
My people, my doctors. I went to the because I have a hard time getting stuck with needles them to find my blood.
Oh wow.
So they wanted me. I was one time they said I need some blood, and I have an appointment in Oakland to do a doctor thing. But I said, you know what? I'm going to Richmond first. Then I come to Oakland for my appointment. They said, why? I said, because Richmond people know me. They know I'm a hard stick, and they know how to find my veins. And so, and then I walked in there, and and they said, I asked her, you remember me? She said, how can I forget you? You come in here with that red and gold all the time.
Mhm.
You always have 49s decked out. I'll never see you in any other clothes. If you came in another clothes, I'll probably forget you. But
I
easy
know.
with
Like
49.
I, I I've said many times on my show that I have a friend who I grew up. We played baseball, we played soccer, we played basketball, we played football, and we grew up in the park service. And he was a skinny, lanky, white boy, good kid, good kid. And when I found out he was a Raider fan, I gave him a hard time. I said, "Dude, you live in San Francisco. I lived outside of San Francisco, and you're a Raider fan." And he says, "Well, his whole family were Raider fans, and his father, who I think is now almost in his 70s, was telling me that he went to his very first ever football game was when John Madden was coaching when he was very, very young. And he enjoyed John Madden. He loved John Madden. That's how I got to know about John Madden. And I found out that John Madden grew up in the city that I live in Daly City. So I kind of sympathize for, John Madden and who he coached, the Raiders. And of course, he became the famous broadcaster. And I'm like, dude, I want to be him. When I was a kid, I wanted to be him. He grew up in the same city I grew up in. He coached football, but a team I didn't like, and he was on TV. And then in '09 when he retired, and of course he passed away a year ago. Rest in peace. He was a Raider fan, and so his whole family were Raider fans. And every time I went to their house, they gave me a hard time. And we both grew up. He went to a public school. I went to a different type of school that wasn't a public school. It wasn't a private school, but he went to, and he became a good safety at his high school. And we both, after we went to the same community college, and we hung out, and he met a bunch of Raider fans who went to, and so I've always been around Raider fans. And if you live in the Bay Area, they're Raider fans. But at the end of the day, I was a 49er fan. And he was very lucky his whole life. Grew up a Raider fan, family were Raider fans, the history, all that stuff. And he met this girl because he transferred to another school outside of state, and she was a Raider fan for whatever the reason. So he has always been around Raider fans. His family, his girl, they've been with for like 6 years. For whatever the reason, like she always tells me, why does he not want to marry me? But whatever. That's a different funny thing. That's why I give him a hard time. So at the end of the day, in the Bay Area, you have Raider fans and Niner fans. And if you don't know a Raider fan in the Bay Area, you probably don't live here, because we have like a bunch of teams out here, but Raiders and 49ers are still, big out here.
And I gotta really say too, there's three types of Raider fans. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you, like, there's the Raider fan like my dad, who's a Raider fan. He wears the clothes, right? But he can't tell you about the team. He's not gonna argue about the team. He's just gonna tell you that he's a Raider fan and they're probably gonna lose on Sunday, but he still roots for them. Then you have your fan that wants to argue with you, and they're delusional, and their team's just, super, great. Those are the fans I don't get along with. And then you have your fan that's a Raider. Yeah, well, those are okay. So, that's another turning point. But then you have your other Raider fan that knows a little bit more about the other football teams and NFL in general and football, and they're more, like realistic. I can talk to them. I can get along with them. But then I noticed, like what you were saying, David, a lot of Raider fans turned into Seahawk fans. They turned into Seahawk fans. They turned their back, and it's like now they don't know who to root for. So,
well, when it comes to Seahawk fans, I mean they've been very quiet this year, But last year when they actually swept us, they were very loud and proud and all that, and then they traded Russell Wilson, and all of a sudden the fan base went from loud and proud to very quiet and silent. And it's like how many bandwagon fans did they have? I mean, for heaven's sake, right?
Because when they had Mike Holmgren, when they had Sean Alexander, they didn't have the same fan base. They still had the 12th man that was growing and stuff. But when they got Russell Wilson, that's when there was a whole change. There was a whole bunch of people that jumped on the Seahawks bandwagon. So I agree.
Dude, that's about the time I actually started noticing Seahawks fans Seahawks stickers on cars around here and stuff like that too. So
Lawrence Lee says there were Raiders fans who were sad to see the team move to Las Vegas. Yep. My uncle's one. He stopped being a Raider fan. He said his name is Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
Herbert, so he said I'm a Herbert fan now. I said you want 49ers? He said hell no. I'm a Herbert fan. I ain't going to 49ers. I'm going to another team. So he left Raiders and started saying he's a Herbert fan.
Yeah, shout out Team Herbert.
Also, I have I got the laughing emoji because Wolfcast called Wolfcast.
Yeah, I thought I would just go back to. He said, and that's how John Jay fell in love with the Raiders.
Mm-hmm. and that's why I have the laughing emoji because I don't know what he's talking about because someone told me and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but someone said he lives in Arizona, so isn't he a Cardinals fan?
No, he was out here in
Oh.
California. Then he moved.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah.
yeah. So he's a Cardinals fan.
Well, no, he's a Niner fan. He lived in not
No,
Vallejo. He lived in Salinas.
You don't get the joke. You don't get the
You
joke.
know,
Okay,
he
over my
moved
head.
to Cardinals.
Okay.
Because
Arizona.
currently, someone said he currently at this moment lives in Arizona.
Yeah.
So the point is,
Well, Wolfcalf, if you're in Arizona, watch out for the Doom Buggy.
Oh, don't do
Well,
that. Don't do that.
Okay. So if we're all fans of the team
Also for
that's
the Prius.
closest to us, then
Yeah,
that means
that
makes me a Raiders fan.
And
Which
I'm
is
not
not
down
And
for
finally,
that.
the ATV
I'm not down
and the
for
golf
that,
cart.
you know.
Anyway.
Oh,
all
yeah, that's
Raiders
funny.
fans I ever know
Oh, and the band of rattlesnakes.
don't know shit about football.
Well,
I wonder why.
Well,
It
we
makes
actually have an issue, and I need Corey Davis, David, and Brian to help me understand this.
Oh, here we go.
So the New York Giants and Jets, they play in New Jersey. Technically, don't they play in the state of New Jersey?
That's why I thought, like when you look at the New York Jets and it says NYJ, that's why I thought it stands for New Jersey, like New York, Jersey.
Oh, hold on, wait a second. You actually brought up a really good point. The Y also looks like a J. Oh my goodness! How did I never notice that?
It's like when you see it, you'll never unsee it.
Oh gosh! Thank you very much, Brian.
Well, it doesn't change the fact that we're still secretly a Canada team.
Yeah, right. Like come on now.
We're right by Niagara Falls. Look at the map. Same with Detroit. Detroit's literally a bridge away from Toronto.
Oh my
Detroit's
gosh.
also a Canadian team.
Brian, you're absolutely right. It does kind of look like a YJ.
Yeah, they're like the New Jersey Jets, so that's why I always like, all right.
Oh my gosh. Damn.
So, yeah. Like, I wear glasses too, so, but.
Sheesh. I've been alive for so many years. How did I not notice that? Brian, you brought that up.
Don't worry, we'll switch back to our helmets when it says Giants only.
Oh, man.
I don't want to hide this.
Yeah, I like it when it says Giants instead of the NY. The NY makes it look too cute, like, I don't know.
I understand, but
oh my goodness.
No,
like, like the Giants make it look aggressive, you know what I mean? Like the NY just, I don't know, like it looks okay on the helmet, but
no, but I want the blue pants. I want the color of blue pants to go with it, so it looks harder.
Maybe if they could put NY on one side and then the Giants on the other side, that would be pretty cool.
I'd be down for it. But for the color rushes too, yeah, those blue uniforms we wore against Washington and Chicago this year.
Like if the Pittsburgh Steelers can go with a solid black helmet on one side. I do like the yellow scheme ones. No, my favorite. No, but you know what I'm saying? If they could go with a solid black on one side and then the emblem on the other side, I can't see why the Giants couldn't have two emblems on a helmet.
Yeah. No, but it'd be dope if they had the yellow helmet. I like their other uniforms where they had the yellow helmet and just the yellow outlining for the jerseys. Yeah, those were my favorite Steelers jerseys.
The Bumblebee?
No, not the Bumblebee. Hell no.
The
other one.
Ask 90 Game Wolfcast something to do something for me. 90 Game Wolfcast, can you type in a message for me? Because I want to make sure I didn't block you.
It's the one with the yellow helmets, but yeah.
To you. Because I was trying to knock this other thing off for flashing on my computer now. I don't know if it actually blocked.
This is now how I perceive the New York Giants helmet from now on. This is going to be in my brain forever. Thank you very much.
Oh, no. So you combine the Y and the middle part? Oh, my. All right, screw you for that. Oh, no. You're traumatized. Now you're going to start traumatizing 6-year-old me.
Hey, okay, real quick, off football topic, right? When you look at KFC and you look at the emblem, right? It's his big head, right? I never knew he had a big giant head and little legs.
Oh, Colonel Sanders?
The next time you look at the emblem, you'll remember me saying it. He's got big old head and little legs. It's supposed to be a bow tie.
Right.
But if you look at it again, it's a big head and a stick figure. You'll never unsee it.
Oh,
No, I know.
Oh,
That's the big head and the KFC logo in front of it. Also, Popeyes is better. Don't get it twisted with that.
Yeah, Popeyes is better.
You know, because somebody in my channel thinks KFC's better.
No, I'm sorry, KFC. No, I love Popeyes for whatever the reason. I don't know what they do. I don't know if it's the spices or the way they cook it. It's really good.
Yeah, the fried chicken mostly, but yeah.
Again, I'm trying to talk to Niner Gang with Kaz because I don't know if I accidentally time them out anything. I didn't mean to. This other thing popped up on my screen. And I was trying to get that off my screen. And sometimes when you hit the button twice, it hits what's under it, and I don't know it. So if you can, Niner Gang, if you're still in here, type something. Show me that I didn't time you out. If I did, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
It should pop up on YouTube if you timed them out or not. I doubt you did.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Let me grab my second device. I'll tell you, Corey. The message in a chick. She's she's from Brazil.
No, he's there.
Her
He said, "I'm here."
No, those are the bot accounts. Probably bots.
Okay, now I cleared it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was showing it like on my screen. It was showing the last thing. It was like blank. I'm
It's
like,
either
oh, man, I hope I didn't time him out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what else do you got going on for your channel moving forward, Corey? Are you going to just be doing some hangouts? Or are you going to be doing like a couple more weekly pick'ems until the playoffs are over? Or what do you got?
From you.
Well,
There's basketball if you have a team. There's also baseball in the off season.
well, I don't watch baseball or basketball.
I don't like my channel's all 49ers. I don't do what you do. Basketball games, baseball games. It's like strictly football.
So you can do like a weekly hangout show where we could come in and talk football or something, like on a Sunday or something, or
yeah.
I'm actually planning to do something in the off season on Sundays.
But yeah, I'm a jack of trees.
Like a hangout where like in the off season, I could get 49er fans to hop on. But I want to do like a show where people who talk. So like I'm working on.
So call-in.
No, I'm not doing call-ins. I don't like doing call-ins. I don't like dropping the link because after that experience, some idiot they did what they did. They called me, Tommy, and somebody. I think CG. That we hated certain people, and we don't do that. So disgusting. Disgusting. So,
all right.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning. I'm probably gonna do some
XFL and USFL for me. Grow my channel further. Oh, trivia? I'm down.
No, that'd be fun, like some NFL trivia or something.
Yeah, NFL trivia would be fun. Yeah.
Okay, so y'all want the week 18 for the winners, or do you want me to keep it going to the Super Bowl, then give you out the winners?
It's up to you, man. It's you. You get to do what you want.
You're the one running the thing, so it's up to you.
Yeah.
Well, how close is it? If it's close, we can keep it going.
Yeah.
Well,
if there's somebody that's like dominating, just go ahead and just. But neck and neck.
Well, technically, I'm out of the running because I missed.
6 weeks, you said?
Yeah, I missed 6 weeks. weeks.
But you still get a participation trophy.
Oh, I don't do that stuff.
Participation trophy.
I understand, like some people are cool with that. I'm not sure where that idea came from, but no, I don't do participation trophy.
It came from T-ball.
For less.
Also, I don't know how.
From T-ball.
Also, I don't know. but for whatever the reason, I don't like awards. Like I don't want people giving me when I was in school, and I was given like certificates, like for good behavior, doing good at a class, like like even in sports, they would give us like certain things, like and I always told myself like it's just like a scrap of paper or a little plaque, and for whatever the reason, I don't know. I've always been like this. I don't like people giving me things. I don't like people telling me that I'm doing a good job. I don't know why that's like not in me. I don't know. It's because how I grew up.
I guess because it's better to play with a chip on your shoulder when people are gratifying you.
Like, what's his name? The former wrestler, the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Yeah, The Rock.
This guy has everything, but one time he was talking on the podcast with some, wrestling people who worked in the wrestling business, but not with WWE. And people asked him, "Why do you still make movies? You have so much money. You have, your fitness brands. All the stuff you wrestled in WWE." And he says, "When I was 14 years old, my late grandmother and my mom, we were kicked out of our house at Hawaii. The owner of the property took all her stuff, tossed it out there, locked the door, and his grandmother had $16 in her pocket. She had no savings account. His mom,
Uh-huh.
his mom had a few $100s in a bank account, and because of that memory, he pushed himself every single day because he says that was the worst moment of his life where a random person took all their stuff out, tossed it on the streets, and threw them out and locked the door, and they were homeless. So he says that his children, his ex-wife and his new wife, they're gonna have money because he's never gonna stop because he says that feeling is mentally still in his brain. So I'm like The Rock. Like I'm gonna grind every single day. I'm gonna live every single day. I don't care about stuff. If people think I deserve something, I appreciate it. But at the end of the day, I tell myself I didn't earn it because that's how I grew up, and I like that story because it really tells you this guy
Yeah.
this guy basically like could have just been like, oh man, my life sucks, and no, he grind, made it to the University of Miami. He blew his knee. He went to Canadian football. That was the lowest point, and he became a wrestler, and he took a chance on himself, and he became who he was.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, John. Like when I was playing football, I was the third string quarterback. I went out for the team for quarterback. I was, very short. They made fun of me right off the bat. They said I couldn't see over the line. I said, no, I can see through the gaps, and they still said no, that no. So I was very dedicated. I learned the playbook. I was sitting there paying attention while all the other guys were screwing off on the sidelines. So I did get the third string position officially, but I still wanted to play. And I was like, hey, what can I do to play? So I tried out for kicker, and I kept trying and practicing and practicing. And when I would be in camp and they weren't really looking at me, well, my dad started making a little bit of noise for me too and saying, hey, let him try out for kicker. So they let me try out for kicker. In practice, I could kick the ball and I was doing okay. Well, when I went into the game and they were like, Brian, go make this kick. You're going to do great. I'd go out and I didn't do great. But in practice, when they're like, Brian, you fucking suck. And, I'm sorry, but that's what they said. Like, you suck. Well, I don't even know why we're letting you do this. I'd kick the field goal. I could kick like 45 yards out. And then I'd look at my coach and I'd say, fuck you. And again, I'm sorry, but I was like 14 years old. And I was so mad that you're telling me I can't do it. I would kick great. I would have a couple kicks in practice, and they say, okay, let's go to we're going to go to practice. We're going to the game. Right, you're the starting kicker, and then they get me all hyped up again, and then they say, right, you can do it, and then I'd go out there, and I did okay. But when you do go out and you play with a chip on your shoulder, sometimes you do play a little bit more aggressively. You play a little bit more dedicated or focused. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I want to see something real quick, and then if I make my decision to do it now, or David, who's all the teams you pick? for this week?
For this week, I picked the Jaguars, the 49ers, the Bills, and the Bucks, all the home teams.
All the home teams.
Yep.
Well, so you chose not all the whole team because the Giants. You chose the Giants their way.
Oh, I did, didn't I?
Yep.
Where did I?
Or did you pick the
Hold
Vikings?
on a second. Did I miss a damn game?
There's 5 games, right?
There's supposed to be 6 games. I only have 5 written down. What did I miss? I did pick the Giants. Yes.
Okay, I thought
Monday night? Did you pick the Monday night game?
There's 1 game on Saturday or 2 games on Saturday?
2 on
There's
Saturday.
2 games. 2 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday, and then 1 game on Monday.
Yep.
What was the? Oh, the Monday was the Bengals and the Ravens. I had the Bengals.
Monday
Right.
game's Tampa Bay, right? Tampa Bay Cowboys?
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah.
Either way, I'm just making sure I have all the games
Yeah, you
down
got
here
it
Yeah.
wrong.
for me.
What about
I got
what
it.
about Miami's and Bills?
He picked
Oh, I
He
picked
picked
the Bills. I picked the Bills.
Okay, YTC. Who's all your
All right. 49ers, Chargers, Bills, Giants, Bengals, and Buccaneers.
49ers, Chargers,
Bills, Giants, and Bengals. And then Monday night, I took the Buccaneers.
Okay. And Brian, you chose
49ers, Jaguars, Bengals, Bills, Buccaneers.
okay. I'm a slow writer. 49ers.
Okay, no problem. I was just trying to memorize everything. I think I might have missed the game if that's only 5.
Okay. 49ers, Jags,
Yep.
And-
Bills,
Bills,
Buccaneers, Cincinnati, and then what would be the last game I'm missing?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You are missing Ravens and Chargers.
Well, that Chargers and Jaguars. So I'm taking the Jaguars.
Oh.
Cincinnati and Bengals. I'm taking Cincinnati. Bills and Miami. I'm taking Bills. Cowboys and Buccaneers. I'm taking Buccaneers. 49ers and Seahawks. I'm taking the 49ers.
I'm still missing one more. Who is it?
Come on, guys, help us out.
Did you
Is there
forget
5?
the
Vikings. The Giants and the Vikings.
Oh, thank you. I'm taking the Giants. So that's the 6th game, the Giants, and that's my upset.
And John Jay took 49ers.
All right. So
And do you take the Jags?
okay, so whenever you're ready. So I took the Jaguars in the first game.
Okay.
All right. Then the next one, I took the 49ers.
Yep.
Okay. The next game, I took the Buffalo Bills. And then the next one, I chose the Giants. Then after that one, so the Giants, and then after one, I took the Bengals. And then the last one, hold on. Oh, the Buccaneers.
Okay, so I'm looking at this. I was trying to see if the score will come out different next week.
Mhm.
If everybody that chose.
All right. Well, Corey, it was fun, but I forgot what time it is. I got to have some dinner. So you guys have a good night. Enjoy your stream.
Then let me go ahead and announce the winners.
Okay.
Because I was looking at it, I say everything gonna come out the same. It's still gonna be the same because only one chose two different teams. You know, everybody chose the same team. It went except me because I chose the Vikings and the Cowboys. So the winner, well, person that came in third place, Brian Cup.
Right on, number 3. Shout out.
With 150, 87, and 2 ties.
Love it.
And, I'm sorry, John Jay, you already know that. You came last. I'm sorry.
Shout out John Jay, the GOAT.
56 and 2 ties.
Okay. Doesn't matter.
Because you
It is what
missed
it is.
them days. And
No, you're right here with us, man.
the winner with 172, 98, 2 losses, 2 ties David McNiner.
Let's go.
He came in second place with 166, 104.
Yo, 6 games behind. Damn.
Very close. Very close.
And I'm not counted, so that's why. But I would, if I was counted, I would come in second place with 170, 104, and 2.
Dang, Corey was right there behind me.
Yep.
Wow. Well, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Corey, for doing this.
So, David, I'm on message send you
well, guess I'm gonna have to motivate myself further next year.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you my email, and you can send me your address, and I'm gonna pick something from the 49ers. Hope you don't have it already, but I'm gonna pick something off the 49ers shop.
All right, buddy. That sounds great. I'm trying to get a swag collection for the wall behind me anyway. Decorate when I'm on.
All right.
That's hecka cool. Hey, shout out everybody. And yeah, whatever you pick out, Corey, as long as it looks pretty, it's gonna look pretty good on the wall.
Yeah. Well,
that's right.
Congratulations, David. You deserve it. But thanks for having me on. I'm out.
Okay.
All right, later, John Jay.
Night, John.
Next season, I am going to do
later, John.
Okay.
Where I keep up the record.
Okay.
And of everybody, myself. So like if you miss a week or miss 2, 3 weeks, I can give you my email and stuff, and you can send me what you missed. And
okay.
Keep it. So it'll be make sure it's all fair.
All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right. Thank you for coming on, Brian. Right. I'm done, John Jay.
Yeah. I'm always the first to go. I know it.
And so like I said, David, I'm gonna send you my email address through Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
And then you can send me your address. And then if you don't mind me sending your address to NFL, the 49ers the Fair 49ers shop.
Oh, I really don't. I'm good with it.
Okay. Let me see. Anything else?
Oh, I want to say one thing. Watch out for special teams against the Seattle Seahawks. The Niners, they're going to have a great game, but if there's anything that can, mollywop us or catch us off guard, it's going to be Seattle's special teams. So that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, let me read some of these comments. Crazy Zeus says Bills, Bengals, Jags, 49ers, Bucks, and Giants. Okay. Cowboys
I,
said nice BC. What that mean?
BC is probably abbreviated for me, but I don't know. I might have said something that he liked.
Yeah.
Shout
Um.
out, shout out, Cowboy Angel. I love him. I see him everywhere.
Hey, he says. Platform
What's
246.
up?
Lawrence,
What's up, Corey? And what's up, the faithful?
Lawrence, come on. I
What time is it?
don't know. It's been a while though. I know you
oh yeah,
can't go over too many times.
we've been on a long time.
Woo!
I know, Corey. It,
Oh,
it,
this is just another day
it's
at the
time to
office for
end. It's
me.
time to end it. It's time to end
Yeah,
it.
I'll see you
Probably.
guys then. But yeah, it's just
I
another
get
day at the
talking to you
office for
guys.
me. I'm used
I
to
have
these
too
live
much fun with
streams.
you guys. You know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cowboy Angel said they.
But yeah, I'll see you guys.
All
Computer's about to die
right.
anyway, so
Thank you for
have a
coming
good
on
night,
my
fellas.
All right, YTC.
Later, YTC.
And Cowboy Angels has the clap hands, I think. I can't tell what that is.
Yep, it's the
Something.
clapping hands.
Um,
Sweet.
yep. So, like I said, sorry, Dina, you didn't give me in time your account, and I already gave David. So if you have more than David, sorry.
Yeah, and Corey, if you need like help next year, if you want me to, come on and do the weekly pick'ems again, would be more than happy. And if you want someone to help do the recording and stuff, I can try to help do that too. To give you, a little bit more help, but just let me know. But I'm super like, thankful that you asked me to come on and do this with you guys. And I've had a lot of fun this whole season. And this is a really, really fun season. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to end this because I'm already went over. Ooh, I didn't know there was that time. Having so much fun,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
didn't
I was.
realize
Same time,
that.
same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I forgot to tell John Jay that in YTC. I sent John Jay, and I got to go on Instagram to send YTC. I got on both of them. I think I'm both of them on Instagram. So I forgot to tell them Wednesday I'll be out of town
Okay.
because I'm going to Tahoe. So Monday
Ooh.
I'm leaving Monday and gonna be out in Tahoe. And I forgot all about that. Oops. So I won't be able to do live on Wednesday. I'm probably gonna do live on Thursday. So I gotta send that message to YTC and John J. Or if I see them on their channel, they live and I just type in their message them and
Yeah. Well, I'll see you then Thursday then. Thank you
all
again,
right.
Corey, David McNiner. I'll see you everywhere. All right. You guys have
All
a good
right,
night.
buddy. Take it easy,
Peace.
Brian. All right,
All right.
Corey. It's always great, buddy. I always have fun. Thanks for having me. And I will definitely see you Thursday. Are you doing an after game reaction?
You know what? I might do it on Sunday the game reaction. I won't be able to see Monday game, but I do it Sunday. I
All
won't be
right,
able to.
buddy. That sounds good. Just hit me up. Let me know. I'll be here.
Okay.
All right. Take it easy, man.
You too.
Good night.
Good night. Dub City. Huh? Thank you, Cowboy Angel, for coming on in chats. Thank you, Platform 246. Thank you, Crazy Juice. Thank you, Nine Game Whoopcast. Thank you, Lauren Lee. Thank you, CG. Group was 49ers Talk. And anybody else? Oh, who was it? I always forget the name. East Coast Red and Gold podcast. Thank you. And I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. And if you didn't type, and whoever maybe watched the replay of the show, thank you. Make sure you hit that like button. And if any new people, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. I enjoy this. And I do it. I don't get paid for this. I do it for fun, for extra activity. If my brother was here, he would tell me, go get a job. But I do this for fun. And I hope everybody have a good week. And let's go 49ers and beat them Seahawks. Go 49ers.